is this the
We started.
Yeah, it's that guy.
Started. I will not mute the other person this time during the starting screen. People have issue with that. Don't say any. Don't talk about how you got a cylinder stuck in an M&M's can. Whatever that post was.
What?
Remember, there was like, cylinder stuck in M&M tube.
What? Wait, what's M&M's tube? Huh? Oh, like the minis?
Like the mini M&M tube.
I haven't thought about mini M&M's in eons. That's for sure. Those had weird commercials. Specifically, well, I mean, most M&M commercials were weird. And it's funny that they're still using the Christmas one to this day, that like 20-year-old Christmas one.
How would you get a small cylinder, 5.1 inches in length, 4.5 inches in girth, unstuck from a mini M&M's tube filled with butter and microwaved mashed banana? And someone's like, can you...
Oh, okay, I'm seeing all the replies.
It's a cylinder. What's so important about the cylinder? It's not attached to, is it? It's attached to a larger structure, so there's a weird angle situation to try to insert anything into the tube.
It is imperative that the cylinder of the larger object remain unharmed. My God.
Why do we talk? Why do we A, what
you
started,
brought it up.
A,
you started this.
A, what started this conversation? And B, why are we doing it while starting to talk about a kid show? I just want to make sure that this video doesn't get put into YouTube Kids. We're talking about.
Certainly will end up there.
It's plastic, but I don't want to risk damaging what's inside. It is imperative that the cylinder and the larger object I'm not comfortable having a knife that close to the cylinder.
I hate it here.
It seems like the cylinder may have expanded and pushed a lot of the butter out when inserting. But why would a cylinder have blood flow? Also, doing jumping jacks may cause harm to the other two objects attached to the base of the cylinder, since it will be moving freely. The cylinder was smaller when inserted, maybe due to change in temperature. It expanded significantly. That's where the problem started.
We've got about 20 seconds left, guys. In the video. Give him time, he'll get there.
It's not a tiny penis, it's an above size. It's an above average size cylinder. Oh. Time to stream it. Hasn't even started. Where I don't understand. What am I doing? Oh, you know what it is? I figured out why I'm always naked when I'm start the stream. Is that I moved the like toggles from the number pad to like the number row. But I'm like, what am I doing in between like starting the stream, before I start the stream and starting the stream? That's activating this toggle, but when I say starting with an exclamation point, apparently holding shift and then pressing 1 still counts for the toggle.
Oh yeah, if it functions anything like what I have, it doesn't care what else you're pressing.
It doesn't care. No, but seriously, does anyone know how to get a cylinder out of the video? I'm asking for a friend. It's buried. Frick. I'm dying. Sorry to tell you this.
You'll get better.
I suppose I can always hope for. Now. Sorry, I was too happy when calibrating my webcam, and now I'm just sad forever.
So sorry.
I did steal her hat, by the way. I tried to find a different.
You already told me.
I tried to find a different hat, but I couldn't find a good one. Oh shoot! Forgot about BGM.
Oh.
Un momento. I've been on the starting screen. In the summer sun, I think I've used it 15 times. Also too sad of a song. It's imperative. I don't know what. This is so funny, dude. Dun, 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 dun. Is this the Pecota song that I got? No, it has the same beat. Is the cyberpunk song? Sure, let's do that. Is that allowed? Oh my god, is that allowed?
Allowed?
What the frick? Is that allowed? Are you ready to start?
I've been waiting.
Let me take off my...
You're going on your cylinder tangent, finding music.
Let me take off my bootsies. That's what I call socks.
Okay. Fully convinced you were just wearing full-on, like, hiking boots or something.
Full-on Uggs.
Sure. That
Sure.
also works.
If you want to call it that, I suppose it's okay. I cannot physically stop you.
It's true.
Are you ready?
Still any time. Nothing has changed.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good sunny day, everyone. I'm your sunny sun prince of the sun, Enyo Solaris to Moshimasu. How's it going? You can also call me Sol or Solaris. You can also call me Mr. Enyo, but then I would be confused because you might be talking about my father. And that would be weird. Also, does anyone know how to get a cylinder on stone? Anyway, today we're talking about Pokemon.
It's time for Pokemon. Also, hello.
Also, hello. If you only watch my anime discussions, you may be confused of who this is.
Who was that guy?
You know, last time we with Chris having a different view of the show than me, you know, that went over so well. So, you know, today I brought in someone who hates anime. You know, if
Hate's a strong word.
Hate is a not strong enough of a word.
No, it's mainly just not enough time or energy.
It is a strong word. Also, just the type of anime that you like. Listen.
Yeah.
You do
semi-specific on that.
You don't listen. It's not that he hates anime. It's just that he doesn't.
You put those words in my mouth, guy.
He doesn't like anime that's too, like, you know, anime. You know.
Specific tropes I am not a fan of that are a constant in a multitude of popular shows, I guess you could say.
But hey, you know, just because we have, you know, different opinions on things doesn't mean that, you know, we can't still be friends.
No, it's true. You don't have to have like perfect synergy with people. Just
did you not hear that?
What did you say?
I made a bunch of goat noises.
No.
Is that not you? Not is that not being picked up?
Probably not.
Why is that not? It's being picked up on the stream? Oh, whatever. Anyway.
Probably just Discord like peeking things.
Discord trying to hide the truth that I have a bunch of goats.
Well, I know you know how you have that like thing with it. Yeah, I've heard it. But yeah, it just doesn't pick up on Discord. It just I'm assuming it's too loud, so it peaks with Discord. It's like, no, I ain't playing that one.
What if I like play it from like slightly farther away? Did you hear goats that time?
No.
Fine. Anyway,
speaking of, go to Pokemon.
Anyway, it's there's a lot. Is that the only goat Pokemon? I mean, that's the only Pokemon that has the word goat in its name.
Well, I mean, I guess so. Yeah, is that really the only one? It might be the only one. I can't think of another goat.
Rhyhorn.
That's not a goat.
Anyway, what's up? We're talking about new Pokemon. Where did Ash go? Where did he go?
He's gone. They did make like that's like a small supplemental series about like his like the
where
finale
Ash
parts
effing
for
dies.
him.
Where Ash
I don't know if he dies. Here's the thing, I haven't seen that yet. I should see that.
It's like a direct sequel to
like
Journeys.
The end of Journeys, yeah.
And I still have like
which I also haven't seen. I should
100
I watched the first 10 episodes of it.
Let's start with some background. We're in the spoiler-free intro section.
Yes.
So, obviously we both like Pokemon a lot.
If you have viewed my streams, I've been playing Pokemon for 5 months now. Yeah. Oh god.
I think have I done a no, I think the only Pokemon stream I've done was the Pokemon Stadium stream. But yeah, I do like Pokemon despite what the haters say, even though I have not played Scarlet and Violet. I have not played Scarlet and Violet, despite the fact that I have not played the newest Pokemon game. I still like Pokemon.
Yeah, that's fine.
And particularly, I like the Pokemon anime. I've been watching it for the most part since X and Y. I mean, obviously, I watched like the old show, but then
yeah, it'd be more shocking if people haven't done that.
Yeah. But like as far as like consistently, you know, watching all of the episodes, I saw all of X and Y. Sun and Moon is on my 3x3. And then I watched 30 episodes of Journeys. And then I just watched 16 episodes of this anime. So Pokemon anime is good. So we'll
I watched like the ones I remember the most, at least to an extent, are Gen 3, 4, and 5, because those just aired on I think just Cartoon Network or whichever show they were on. Channel.
Did I not convince you to watch Sun and Moon?
You've talked about it. I just haven't got around to it. Just time. But what is it? And then I watched most of XY, and then like I think the last couple of episodes of XYZ.
Wait, why?
Or maybe was it most of it? It's been a while. I probably have to rewatch those because I don't remember much from them.
I was gonna say, why would you watch only the last couple ending of the X and Y? I mean, I guess.
Okay, maybe it's the case if I only remember the last couple episodes of XYZ. That sounds more correct.
That's crazy.
And then a fair amount. I think I started Sun and Moon. It was like the first 5 or so, maybe more. And then for Journeys, it was like the first 10.
How'd you watch more Journeys than Sun and Moon? This is bullshit!
Well, mainly because it was just like, my brother and I just started watching it because it was just on, what do you call it, Netflix. We just had an account, so we just started watching it there.
You're watching dubbed Pokemon. That's crazy. That's a... You know, I mean, bro.
Oh, we're doing that, okay.
Why? Just making the goat noises instead of actually saying anything goat-related.
Not the dub bashing. Anyway.
Oh, the dub bashing. Listen, okay, listen. Normally, I am okay with dubs, but the Pokemon dubs specifically, I have issues with.
Reasons being...
mostly just the fact that they, it takes like a year to release. So if you want to stay up to date at all, like they haven't even started airing this new series. They showed a 10-minute preview at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, I'm not sure the whole reasoning behind that, because
but yeah, usually they're like
the games at least are completely worldwide, same time release. Since when did that start? Was that X and Y when that started?
I think that was X and Y, yeah, because I remember Black and White 2 being like the last, like, I'm mad that I can't watch this show.
Or I mean, like, I mean the games.
I mean games, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, like 1 to 200 days is around the average of, and they also sometimes just straight up skip episodes for no real reason.
I guess it's mostly just probably, like, due to, like, localizing it, because all of the Pokemon names are different. Some jokes don't land the same because they're puns. Sun and Moon, I think, was the most egregious of that. Because I recall, who was it, like, Oak's sibling? Like, his whole shtick was making puns, and it's like, oh
yeah.
God.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's probably, like, really hard to localize that, maybe. But I don't know, it's weird. Dubs of, I can't really think of a lot of
it's just really weird
shows that have dubs, or do that, because that's not a normal thing. Like, a lot of shows don't have dubs that show up around at the same time as the
usually like
these releases.
Nowadays, like, it usually like sometimes we even have like simul dubs where, like, you know, the new Bleach is the dub is only behind by like 2-3 episodes.
That's crazy.
So, like, especially with Pokemon, because Pokemon is like really like crazy about like making sure that the gen releases at the same time, that they shove the game out the door, they shove the anime out the door, they make the card game.
That's a whole different discussion for another time.
They make sure that everything, like, the gen starts at a specific time, but then, like, for the English version of the show, like, it's just a year late for no real reason.
I don't know. It's probably just a lot of production things that, like, are just really difficult to do, or like try and do. I don't know.
Maybe people just don't care, because I think most people at this point who care about the Pokemon anime just watch it subbed because
I just watched that just to be on. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. And the second more important reason that I watch Pokemon subbed is because the music is that this has been well documented, but like Pokemon, the dub the anime, for at least for like the last couple seasons, uses like remixes of like the game's soundtrack, and also like they sometimes use like the opening theme in the actual episode. But in the dub, they just remove all that and change and replace it with like generic, like random ass like filler music. I don't know, like royalty free music.
I actually didn't know that.
Oh, are you sure? I'm pretty sure Yish and I complained about this like all the way back at X and Y.
You might have talked about it at some point. I just don't recall.
Because there was like one really bad scene. There was like one egregious example of it where they were doing a fight and like they were blaring the anime song, and then in the English version it's like ba 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 ba.
When was this? Because maybe it's been fixed lately.
No, it's still happening from what Journeys, like the previous series, during like a Gigamax scene, they played the song from like a remix of the song from the game, and then I was like, is this still happening? And I looked up the same like the same scene on Netflix, and like it was a completely different song, and it did not fit at all.
Yeah, I wonder what that's about. Maybe like audio mixing or something. Maybe.
My guess is my guess for both reasons is that the dub is a very like low priority, low budget like endeavor. Like,
probably.
Maybe they just don't care. Because also I have a screenshot.
I'm not sure why that's the case. But go on.
I have like 400 screenshots, but I have a screenshot that shows Toby Fox in the credits of this anime.
Oh yeah, he's been working with Pokemon music since
X and Y.
No, Sword and Shield.
Or no, not Sword and Shield. Yeah.
Yeah, he did some tracks in Sword and Shield.
So I saw that. I was not aware of that until I saw when I was watching. I think it was like the 4th episode, and I'm like, wait, that's just Toby Fox?
I think the first Game Freak game he did was I don't know if anyone remembers Little Town Hero, but he did the entire soundtrack for that game, which was a supplementary title that Game Freak was working on just so they could work on a game that wasn't Pokemon.
Yeah. But
And
yeah,
they have not made a game since because that game sold really bad. So
it wasn't Pokemon, so
that's a tragic truth.
little cringe, bro.
I hear Harmonite's a pretty good title though, made by Game Freak as well.
Anyway, point I was saying is in these credits, Toby Fox and all these other people are credited as like the original like composer, and yeah, it's because they use remixes of the songs in the anime, but not the dub.
Yeah, it's weird. I wonder why that's the case. I don't know the answer to that.
Licensing? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark?
I would say if I had to speculate, either licensing or maybe just the way the audio is mixed for the episodes. Maybe like, well, that doesn't make any sense because
yeah, there's no reason that they would be able to replace the soundtrack without just replacing the soundtrack with what was already there.
Yeah, so I don't know what the case is for that. That's weird.
Anyway,
so yeah, the only thing I could think of being licensing, but I don't know if that would be the true answer.
I mean, obviously, if you wanted to watch Pokemon dubbed, then that's fine. Just saying why I always watch Pokemon subbed. I did watch a little bit of X and Y dubbed, and like it's not bad. It's just like, you know, if you like subtitles, if you are okay watching anime subbed, then there's no real reason not to.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're
I
gonna
see no issue with either side.
We should be talking about the actual show. It's a good show.
It is. I do enjoy it a lot.
So we go all this to we say all this to say that like we're hardcore gamers and that we're pro.
Is that what the guys are calling it?
We're hardcore about Pokemon, even though I haven't played Scarlet and Violet. But we say all this to say like yes, the show is good.
Yeah, no, that's like for what it's trying to be, which is just, you know, a show about Pokemon. It honestly, we'll get into it later, but like the premise for this show is a lot more fun than just what the show has been for decades.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is the first anime like ever, other than like spin-offs like Pokemon Origins or whatever. First anime to not have Ash as a character.
Yeah.
Like, they killed him. He's dead. And it's not like one of those things where it's like, oh, this is my son Boruto, and this is my granddaughter. No, like, no. Ash is just...
No,
Ash is
just not here, and all the characters are completely original.
It's kind of a spoiler, because I was still... Ash may show up at some point, but like in the first 16 episodes, like there is no even mention of him existing at all. It is just a completely new storyline.
I would not be shocked if there were callbacks or like just like, you know, a passing mention at some point.
Yeah, I guess we would have to see how it ended, but I think it just ended with him winning the Pokemon League and then going home or whatever.
Yeah, and then whatever the epilogue, I guess it would be like epilogue episodes.
Yeah,
I've not seen that.
There was like 11 epilogue episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I did like Ash as a character. Ash is a very good, like, adventurous, like, goal-oriented, very good character for a Pokemon series.
Yeah. He's very serviceable for a character. Well, you finish your thing because I do want to say something else after.
I was gonna say him not being here is a very nice change of pace for our Pokemon anime.
Yeah. My only gripe with him was like every time a new season started, his brain essentially reset.
That sometimes happens and sometimes didn't happen. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah,
like sometimes it seems like he would just forget something that was already mentioned in a previous like series or something, or like, you know, he's been doing this for this long. How does that not like come as a pretty obvious thing?
That was the reason I skipped Black, because I did try to watch Black and White, but Black and White wasn't particularly egregious about that.
It is. I will agree to that.
It was trying to be like a soft reboot to the series, but it's really funny that like it is just really funny, the whole thing about like, oh yeah, you know, Ash is fighting against all these like legendary Pokemon, and and Pikachu is like going up against a Deoxys or whatever, and then the literal next episode Pikachu dies to a random Snivy.
Yeah, stuff like that. And then
But like they were mostly okay about it in future series.
Yeah, it's not like anything terrible. It's just sometimes I notice that it's like, all right, like I know you're trying to like.
But yeah, it's very nice that they didn't like half-ass it. Like we just have entirely new main characters here.
Yeah, which as we know, as of current we know has no correlation to any of the prior characters in any.
I mean, they show their like
previous series.
They show Lico's like mom and dad and grandma.
Yeah.
None of them are Ash.
Yeah.
And then they also show like Roy's grandpa, and he's also not Ash.
Yeah, like there's been no mention of him at all, or even any of the other like companions.
But I'd be very surprised if like they don't mention it at least once like near the end. I'm sure they just want like a fresh slate to just be like, this is a new Pokemon series.
Yeah, there were theories going around before the show started airing that Liko had some connection to Ash because her hairpin, her hair clip is like very obviously referencing the logo that Ash had on his hat for most of the different series.
Stuff like
and then like a lot of other minute details that people were just like, oh, it's definitely like him and Serena's kid or something.
Some game theory shit going on there.
some very high end speculating, which like that's fun to do, but like just don't get disappointed when it's not the case.
Yeah, I was gonna say. But I don't know. Yeah, even if Ash doesn't show up,
I kind of think it's better. I mean, yeah, like it's fine, but like I'm kind of also okay with the fact that like this is in its own thing.
Yeah, again, I'm really glad that they didn't just do like the anime thing of like, this is my grandchild, blah 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 blah, and you like them just as much, because that never has worked for any anime. And before
I'm sure it can be done.
And before like, Tevin gets in here and was like, I like Boruto, you had bad taste in anime.
I'm sure.
Get out here.
I'm sure it's fine, but like, no, I kind of like this better, where it's like it's its own thing.
Yeah, especially I like the main characters of Liko and Wario are very good. They have like very good like, because you can start from beginning. They can have like character arcs where they start from like nothing, like they get their first Pokemon.
Yeah, and they like learn how everything works.
Yeah, and they also I think they bounce off each other really well. Because Liko's more like shy and timid, and Roy's more like closer to Ash.
Yeah, he is like, it's kind of weird because Roy is essentially Ash version 2.0, but he's still his own guy. Like he has just very similar like character traits, but he's still his own guy.
I think another like more maybe even more important aspect is that this is one of the first Pokemon stories to not be about like the gym leaders or going to a league.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was allowed to mention that yet, because I think we're still in spoiler-free territory. But I do like how this is
overall like ideas.
Yeah, like I do like how this is framed, not to be like just the game story, but in a different aspect. It's like, no, this is entirely its own thing.
Yeah, they were playing around with that. Like X and Y was just like the game's story of going for the badges, but like Sun and Moon was more like slice of life, but there was still like Ash going around doing the trials, doing the things in the game, and then Legends was also very much about like battling, but this is more of a like traditional action adventure story where you know
it's literally like they're just on this adventure completely devoid of just do the gyms, be good at fighting.
Yeah, I mean like still gyms and fighting still exist, but
it's not like
it's not it's more of like a traditional like, hey, they travel around the world and solve a mystery, and I think it works really well to keep the plot like engaging and not to be like so predictable.
Yeah, like it has a goal, it has an end goal, but it's not what you would expect it to be.
Yeah, it's not like, you know, it's not so easy to just like if you go into like a previous Pokemon, it'd be like, okay, he's gonna fight the grass gym, and then the other gym, and then this gym, and then he's gonna go fight the Pokemon League.
And then here's this one aspect of the game that appears in the game, so they have to have an episode on it just to like essentially like, here's how it would look in the show, like this game mechanic.
They kind of did that in this. They do that a little bit. They do that a little bit.
A tad bit in this, yeah. No, I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, I think it works. The only real issues that I have with the series are the like filler quote unquote episodes. Because the issue that that's an issue that's been in a lot of previous Pokemon anime where like they do the plot and like things are happening and then they just for like an episode or two they just completely have like a one-off episode where they halt all sort of plot progression and then like introduce a new Pokemon or whatever. Like, oh, there's this forest of Trico that need our help and we gotta go help them, and like which is why I liked Sun and Moon so much, because Sun and Moon basically had none of that, although Sun and Moon was all of that, so it didn't stand out, because Sun and Moon was just like mostly focused on slice of life, so it didn't like disrupt the flow when nothing happened, because that was the point of the show. But like
from what I remember from Sun and Moon, oh sorry, finish your thing actually.
Yeah, but like specifically, like again, just watched X and Y and 30 episodes of Legends, and like it is really annoying when they are going on a thing and then they just stop the story for episodes. It's not filler, but it feels like filler.
No, I understand what you mean. We're like, because end of the day, the show has always been like a monster of the day thing, and from what I watched of Sun and Moon, it did it fairly well, because like that was mostly its premise, was just like here's the thing that's going on today.
Yeah, I mean Sun and Moon, I could talk a lot about how I like Sun and Moon, but Sun and Moon, I don't want to do too much.
Like the very few episodes I've seen.
I don't want to do too much comparisons, but Sun and Moon was very much like character focused. So even if nothing like even if plot didn't progress, we still learned more about the characters, and that
still occurred.
And that still happens here, but it feels like way more out of place where we have to stop the show. It doesn't.
Some of it I understand where you're coming from, but at the other time, it's like they kind of have to do stuff like this because it's a whole new set of characters. You kind of have to like have a thing where it's like, oh, well, here's the episode about this person, because like you want to, they're a main character. You kind of got to learn about them other than just
I mean, there's some
like two things that they've mentioned for like their character traits.
There's some episodes where they multitask and they tell you a new character while also progressing the plot.
Yeah, no, I think I know which one you're talking. A specific episode you're talking about.
Does it involve a forest?
Yes.
Yeah, but like
I know what you're talking about.
And there's not that many. Like in these first 16 episodes, there was only like 3 of them. But like some of them got really bad. Some of them.
No, I know where you're coming from. But like it's kind of just a thing that unfortunately does have to occur.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just the fact that like, I mean, previously it was because Ash had to go for all the gyms, but because Pokemon is like a week by week thing, like a constantly ongoing thing, and they just start a new thing with each new generation. So basically, from the beginning, from the release of Scarlet and Violet until the release of the next game, it's going to be having a new episode every week. So like, and they usually average around like 130, 140 episodes.
Yeah.
So like, before it was like, okay, Ash needs to do 8 gyms, but we need to make it last 180, 140 episodes for 8 gyms.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
So it made sense
that
there,
is kind of
but
the
like
detriment to, well, yeah.
But Pokemon, this series and the previous one, Legends, has no excuse. They just stop the plot progression. But...
yeah, it's a little weird. No, I understand I totally understand where you're coming from.
But again, it's not like that bad. It's nothing to like kill the series. It's just like when it pops up, you're like, okay, I just gotta get for this.
Yeah, and if it's
not like 20 episodes.
When it's the 3 out of 16, like that's not too bad. It could be much worse. It's not like an entire arc.
Yeah,
which I think people have like made jokes about some shows doing like an entire arc where like nothing happens.
Yeah, the filler arcs of shonen anime in the 2000s, 2010s.
Yeah.
And also all
like,
of Boruto.
Yeah. It's sad it's there, but like it could be a lot worse at the same time. So I understand where you're coming from for that.
I'm looking up to see if I'm right about Boruto. Oh my god, how fudge you spell Boruto? Is it B-O or B-R? Boruto? I'm... Okay, I found it. It's Boruto. Boruto. I also
I've
still
not
can't.
watched the show, so I cannot bring myself to have an opinion on it.
Maybe I'm crazy. Whatever. Again, not comparing things. The show does have some like non-eventing episodes where like maybe their Pokemon learns like one move, and that's pretty much it. But it's not too bad. The only other issue with the show is that it still, still doesn't like quite look as good as Sun and Moon, because that's another reason I like Sun and Moon, because it had very like, I don't even want to say like good animation. It just had like very good directing and was very like engaging.
Its style was very good.
Yeah, where like the show has its moments, but a lot of the time it's just kind of characters standing around talking.
Well, that's just kind of the case how it is with like just public television anime. Like you kind of have to cut those corners, especially
like weekly anime.
Yeah, like you just unfortunately that's just a case that you have to do. You just have to cut those corners.
And I have no idea how Sun and Moon got away with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
By being very stylistic, I suppose. But yeah, that's pretty much. Listen. I have a lot of issues with the production side of Pokemon. Both the games and the people working on the anime given very bad working conditions. Where we all know
it's not good.
That whatever your opinions are on Scarlet and Violet, it was obviously did not have enough resources and time
Absolutely.
that it should have.
Objectively, it was crunched to hell and back. You can obviously tell.
And
it was very upsetting for that case, because especially if you've played the games, you can tell that there's definitely a want to put heart and soul in here. It's just the time was not given for it.
Yeah, and the same thing with the anime, where like people, OLM, the people who made the studio that makes the Pokemon anime, is very notorious for. I mean, a lot of anime studios have bad production things, but OLM is specifically notorious in the community, to the point where a lot of people just left and made their own studio and made a whole show making fun of Pokemon.
That's pretty funny.
Okay, maybe not an entire show, but it was the people who made Zom 100, like the in that show, the main character has like a dead-end job that's like working him to death, and then they show the building and it is just an exact replica of the OLM studio building.
That's very funny.
So yeah, they basically went off, made their own studio, to make fun of Pokemon Studio. So yes, but I say this to say, despite all the issues I have with the production side of Pokemon, I still like Pokemon. It's still, it's still like Pokemon is still cool. Pokemon are cool. Like they have cool designs, and they go like Rattata, and the stories that they are able to tell with Pokemon and people living alongside Pokemon, and like how Pokemon and people interact, and like just the unique like games and story that you can make with it. Like Pokemon, I still like Pokemon. You know, there's a reason
it's very malleable, and that's what makes it very interesting.
There's a reason that there's so many like production that the series is so poorly handled, but people still love it so much.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a bit longer than a 20-minute spoiler-free intro section, but
that's fine. We'll live.
Do you have anything to say before we have the official start?
Nothing I can think of that we haven't already talked about.
Okay, so let's get a little specifics.
Yeah.
So your spoiler-free intro is ending now. Please leave.
If you wish to not be spoiled, just
frick. I know specifically there was somebody that gave me a comment that said, they've worded it in a really weird way, but they said, like, I refuse to watch the show for another year, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And I had to sit on it for, like, a day and a half, and I think they're talking about that they're waiting for the dub. They just phrased it in a really weird way.
That's weird.
EPI.
But hey.
Okay, so the first arc I will say is episodes 1 to 6.
Yeah.
Which
main character introductions, really.
So yeah, we get
setting the stage, as it were.
Yeah, like introducing you. They take like 6 episodes to like introduce all the characters and introduce like what the main conflict is and like get it kind of moving.
Yeah.
And I would have to say, like, especially the first like 1 or 2 episodes. The first 2 episodes aired like in an hour-long special, so they're kind of like the first episode. Very strong start, I'd have to say. Like, as far as like it's like immediately like getting you into the character's head, because like the literal first thing, the literal introduction we have to Liko before she even says anything is like she waves at somebody who was waving behind her. At someone behind her. She does the awkward thing, and then she gets on the bus and like overthinks about it for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, it's relatable. Hashtag relatable. Like, it's a very like fast and effective way to be like, this is what this character is about. This is the character's arc. And I just like it a lot. It was just a very effective way to immediately get me to like this character, about this, like, you know, shy girl, not knowing how to communicate with other people, and not knowing how to, like, basically she was saying like, oh, I don't know, people don't know anything about me, but I don't know anything about me, and I don't know what's going on, and I don't know how to communicate with people. Yeah, she has a hard time getting people to understand her.
She's just like me, for real, for real.
But like, I think that's like, I mean, yeah, like, she's awkward, but like, I think the thing that really like sold me is like that specific thing that she has issue with, about she has a hard time specifically getting people to understand what she is about. Not necessarily that like, oh, I'm bad at communication or I'm shy. Like, this very specific thing is very good. I like it a lot. So
it's good.
They also, I don't know, I don't know how much of a plot synopsis we should do, but basically, I will try to be brief, but like, yeah, she basically starts at this school, and she goes to Pokemon school.
She goes to, I think it's an academy in Kanto, and she's originally from Paldea.
Yeah, she's from Paldea, and you know, she wants to, you know, step outside her comfort zone. She wants to make friends. She wants to try new things. She wants to, you know, stop being so socially awkward all the goddamn time. So her parents send her off to a school in Kanto. It's confusing because there's an actual area of Japan called Kanto, and I don't know if it's pronounced differently or not, and I not looking it up. It's fine, whatever. But yeah, she goes to school and tries to make new friends, and she has a roommate that appears like twice.
Yeah. For reasons we'll explain later, she's very not shown.
Yeah, but anyway, she goes to school.
You think for like someone who is their roommate and like her first friend, essentially, she doesn't really show up a lot.
Yeah, because like we're out of the spoiler-free section. Like, they go, like, the school is only like a thing in the show for like an episode because they immediately set off to go for an adventure. So like,
yeah,
I don't know why they even bothered to like set up this premise, other than like, it's an anime, so there has to be a high school in it, I guess.
Maybe, I don't know. It is a very bizarre like start set, but yeah, you know, whatever.
And then that's something. But going back to Liko's character arc, she meets Grass Cat.
Sprigatito, or in JP as it's called, Meowha.
Okay, that's another thing that is going to be an issue.
I will be your translator for names.
For the most part, I wrote down both names in my notes, but like, yeah, the weird thing about Pokemon subs is that there are only like fan subs available, because the only like English piece of anime that they release is the dub. That's very different. Yeah. But
so depending on which sub you find, the names might just be the JP names instead.
Yeah, like 90 most, like, the main people who do the Pokemon subs, just use most of the part, like, Japanese names, which makes sense for the most part, because you hear them say Niauha, so it'd be weird to...
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
But they also do weird things, like, they still, like, they sub Pokeball as Monster Ball, and stuff like that. It's just...
Yeah.
Even though they call it a Monster Ball, but, like... And they also call all the... They weirdly translate the names of the attacks, too. Like, Quick Attack is translated to Lightning Speed.
I think that's just what its, like, direct translation would be, which is weird, because, like essentially a more direct translation, because most moves, I believe, are, like, localized in some aspect.
Yeah. So they just
like, changed for the sake of changing them, I guess.
So if they do translate anything, they translate it themselves as opposed to using the official translation, and that's really weird.
Yeah,
but that's some
we'll
meta comment.
We'll
it doesn't
get to
really
this
matter.
point in a second, I think. But one of the Pokemon we come across, it uses I'm assuming it's using Phantom Force, but in the JP, it's apparently just called Ghost Dive, which is a way cooler name, in my opinion.
Yeah, like if there's any like new moves that are introduced, like I have no idea, because again, I haven't played Scarlet and Violet.
Phantom Force, I think, was a pretty old move.
Okay, or I could just be.
I think it was a Gen. I want to say it was a Gen 6 move. It was. Wait, was it Gen 5? I don't remember.
I could have just been forgetting. But anyway, back to the show. Liko gets paired with Sprigatito, and it's funny because Sprigatito, it's kind of like a Pikachu situation where Sprigatito effing hates her, and like. It kind of leads into her character arc of, like, you know, trying to, you know, communicate with people and get people to understand her. And then she realizes, oh, hey, you know, Sprigatito is just like me, and that doesn't know how to get people to understand it, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, that's what I was talking about earlier about, like, you know, them using Pokemon in a creative way about, you know, to enforce this character arc. I like it a lot.
Yeah, Sprigatito is very sassy, which is, I mean, it's just kind of the thing with, like, that's just cats.
That's just cats.
You kind of gotta, like, work to build a trust with them, I guess.
I like this.
Sense.
I like the screenshot. She's trying to, like, Sprigatito's, like, sunbathing, and then she tries to get it. Good riddance, Ash Hayish.
Hello. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
And then Sprigatito just lands on her face. Yish, did you watch the series? I mean, assuming if you did, you would be here.
And if you just want to hear what we have to say instead of watching it, go for it.
Nope. Fair enough. Okay. We're at the beginning where shy, relatable character Liko goes to Pokemon school and then meets Sassy Cat, who's just like her. But
for real.
But yeah, like, cause her roommate is like super happy and cheery and it's like, oh, I'll be your friend, no worries, you know. So like, she doesn't have to like do a whole lot there. But like for Sprigatito, like she has to like specifically go out of her way to try to make friends with it and try to, you know, make herself understandable while also, you know, understanding what Sprigatito's old deal is.
Yeah. What is it? Oh, the for Anne and Liko, it's the extrovert adopting an introvert friend.
About her roommate, yeah.
What also happens in the main game. That's like one of the things. Your rival is like. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the games. We're talking about the show.
We're not talking about the video game. Although it is somewhat relevant. Yeah. But yeah, I do. The first two episodes, for the most part, are just her trying to, you know, get Sprigatito, be friends with Sprigatito, and
yeah, which is fair. It's her partner, so yeah. Yeah,
trying to understand Sprigatito, and by extension, understanding herself, and you know, we all, you know, grow and evolve with Pokemon. That's something that I have a lot of mixed feelings about in the Pokemon series, is that they really like push this like narrative of like, Pokemon are cool, and, you know, your life is better if you have as many Pokemon in your life as possible. Buy all their toys. Because, like, half of it is just, like, they're trying to, you know, make Pokemon more appealing as a brand, and that's part of what the show does. But, like, on another point, they do use that as, like, people's relationship with Pokemon being, like, is important to the characters in the show and helps the characters in the show. So if you just forget the like real IRL marketing schemes,
which you are definitely overthinking.
I might be a little bit overthinking. It's just weird. They go into like a lot of detail about like the importance of Pokemon and how.
Well, that's kind of like
important.
the premise of it, because it's it's a complete like opposition to how animals are in real life. They all have like base instincts and stuff, and like, you know, obviously like dogs and cats, they were bred for like thousands of years to like essentially be a companion for humans. But for these ones, for Pokemon, it's essentially like they have similar wavelengths to humans. In a way,
yeah, like
because there's like
they're
like
more
anything
equals.
can just form a bond in a way,
yeah, like,
and that's like the whole premise, which makes it kind of interesting. It's because like, yeah, this big old bear can kill you in one shot. If you really try to understand it.
Hey, be your friend if you want, you know, understanding people who are different
not akin
from
to
you.
real life. Don't try and make friends with a bear.
Yeah, don't throw a Pokeball at a bear.
Don't throw anything at a bear. You will die.
You will immediately die. But like, yeah, that's something I've always appreciated about the anime in particular, is that they are good, especially with the older series. Like, it's the only time that you really see like Pokemon, you know, living with people and working with people, you know, like they have like in the first anime they have like Pidgey, you know, deliver the mail.
Yeah. It can be hard to like display that in a game aspect, so that's why the anime. Something I think the anime does better is like just
you also just
the whole like how society integrates these little creatures.
Hi Kai, we're talking about Pokemon.
Oh.
But yeah, like there's also like, you know, the coal Pokemon from Gen 6 like works like in an actual like furnace, you know. So you really get
6 coal Pokemon.
I don't remember what his name is. He's like a
Carkol, because that's Gen 8.
He's like a minecart. Yeah, not Gen 8.
Yeah, that's Gen
Sword
8.
and Shield. I was 2 generations off. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm your encyclopedia here. I know too much about this franchise for my own good.
I know. I mean, I love Pokemon a lot too, but I kind of fell off around 7.
That's fine.
Anyway, yeah, I really like the people. You also see like background characters with like Pokemon all the time too.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Pokemon don't spend a lot of time in their Pokeballs in this series.
Yeah.
Also, her roommate has an Oshawott, and I love Oshawott.
Oshawott's a good breed.
Here's a picture of Oshawott using its shell as a pillow.
Heck yeah.
While the grass cat just curls up and sleeps like a cat.
Into a real cat, yeah.
So, like, it has very cat-like properties, which they...
That's something I kind of like about it, though. It's just a cat that's just green and has leaf powers.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, it is still just a cat.
They are not ashamed to just be like, yeah, it's just like a cat. It's just like a dog.
Yeah, and I think that's sometimes more fun. Where it's just like, yeah, I could just be akin to a real animal. Who cares? Magikarp's just a fish.
Magikarp is just an effing fish. I played most of the games and didn't enjoy them that much.
A fish that's terrible at being a fish, but you know.
Gorp, gorp, gorp. I'm good. Yeah, I think they did try to do that with Gen 7, with like the ride Pokemon being like useful. But like especially like back in like, you know, Gen 5 previously, like it was all just like sprites, so you just had to do a lot of interpretation.
Mm-hmm. So sometimes the sprites look better than the current games. Yeah, I said it.
I was gonna say, like,
listen, I'll defend Scarlet and Violet with my life, man. Go back to sprites.
Sonic had a rough transition to 3D. Yeah, no, that's another reason why I like the anime and I'm willing to watch this anime even though I haven't played the games, is because like their artwork looks really good in 2D, you know?
Mm-hmm. It works.
Like I was like, oh man, Sprigatito is really like a really cool character and it's like a grass cat. I wonder what it looks like in game, and I'm like why is it scaly? It looks scaly. It looks scaly.
No, it's definitely like kind of a fur texture.
It looks scaly.
I think you're crazy. Hold on. I think you're crazy.
It looks like weirdly shiny and scaly. I'm looking at a screenshot.
I'm looking at one too, bro. That's just fur. What are you talking about?
Listen,
What are you looking at?
Either way, it doesn't look. Pokemon games never changed. It's the same game. Every single Pokemon game is just red or blue. That is true.
I mean, let's be real. The Scarlet and Violet.
Scarlet and Violet are just other ways to say red and blue.
It's true. Scarlet is just another way of saying red. X and Y's colors were literally just red and blue. Sword and Shield's colors were literally just red and blue.
I think that
time is a flat circle.
Yeah. I think the only exception might be Palkia and Dialga were kind of. Dialga was kind of blue. Palkia was blue, pink.
Palkia was more pink. Yeah. Ruby Sapphire.
Ruby Sapphire definitely red and blue.
Black and white. I mean, black and white.
But they still like shot like red fire and blue lightning, right?
That's true, actually.
Not
onto something.
Not important.
My man's spitting.
Oh my gosh, how are we almost an hour in and we still haven't gotten past episode 2?
Yeah, so let's move. Well, we're not even halfway through 1.
I mean, oh yeah, you're right. We're just talking about like Pokemon overall, as opposed to actually talking about the actual show.
Yeah. So next big thing, Leiko's got a funky necklace.
She's got a plot MacGuffin around her neck.
Essentially.
And like this evil team like shows up, like this evil group shows up. The Team Rocket replacement shows up.
Not the Team Rocket. Yeah, not Team Rocket.
Shows up to basically mug her, and she's like, "I can't give up my pendant. It's a magical gift that my grandma gave me."
Yeah, so here's what's interesting. I'm assuming they just lied about this, obviously.
They lied.
They did say, like, hey, your grandma called us. They want your pendant. And she's like, I don't trust y'all.
Yeah, no, 100%. They were the bad guys.
Yeah, but, like, at first I was like, wait, did the grandma actually call them?
No.
But no, I don't think, no, like, they probably didn't.
Team Missile? Is that what they're called in English? Hi, Tevin. How's it going? Because in Japanese, they're called the Explorers.
They're not. No, I'm pretty sure they're still called the Explorers. I think Tevin is just making the joke that Rocket is a synonym for missile.
I'm literally making a joke.
Yeah.
It's called a joke, Soul. Look it up.
That's another thing I do want to talk about. These names seem very localization friendly. Like they don't have to change their names.
That is.
And I mean, they haven't changed their names. I think everyone's still the same name.
I know the what is that? Like the VTuber Pokemon trainer? She has a different name.
I don't know. Well, that's different. That's game because that's apt to the real game.
Oh, is Team Explorers not in the game?
The Explorers are no.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
The Explorers do not show up at all. The evil team, quote unquote, is called Team Star, and they're literally like delinquents in the school.
Oh, okay. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So that makes the Explorers even more impressive because like they all have like very cool, unique designs, and they're all originally.
Since Sun and Moon, the evil team, quote unquote, has kind of just been like jokes at this point because like Team Yell was just like super fans, and then Team Star is just like a bunch of kids who just don't want to go to school.
Then was also Team Skull from Sun and Moon.
Yeah, and Team Skull is still the funniest team. Period.
Agreed. Anyway, so evil organization shows up, and then people who her grandmother actually called, like, which is basically like our main cast, show up. They're the Rising Volt Techers, which
or in English, the Volt Tacklers.
The Volt Tacklers? Is that what
because it's
Is what is Volt Tackle in Japanese?
I don't know, because Volt Tackle's just like the big electric move that I think only a couple of Pokemon can learn.
But yeah, it's
Pikachu
great.
Can only learn it off of Pichu, off an egg move, I think is what it is. Not important.
Unless your name is Ash Ketchum.
Yeah. And then you only use it like 7 times.
No, I think he used it a couple of times.
No, well, the thing is, like, when it first showed up, which I think was Gen 4, question mark? Yeah, he definitely was like, yeah, use this constantly. No, the other moves don't exist. Iron Tail, Quick Attack, Thunderbolt, no, those aren't real.
Volt Tackle, go.
Yeah.
Why
gives a recoil? Yeah, that's a smart move.
Why think when you can
spam
use
that.
Volt Tackle? Anyway, so the Volt Tacklers.
You can just say Volt Tacklers.
The rising Volt Takers. The Volt Takers show up, and
It rolls off the tongue better, I will admit.
We have this guy who just has the popular Pokemon because his two main Pokemon are Charizard and Pikachu.
Yeah.
Which, you know, trying to find like a good shot, but whatever.
I will say,
he's cool.
And this isn't even bias. Charizard is literally just there to be Charizard. I think we can all agree to that. But they did manage to make this Pikachu.
This Pikachu is my favorite goddamn character.
One of the best characters in the show. They made this character so cool for no reason.
Like, he's constantly doing like the Gurren Lagann pose, like the Gynax pose of his crossed arms and like a frown. Like, this is Captain Pikachu. So they take her, these people rescue her. He's like on a Charizard. He's got this Pikachu. And he takes her to their flying airship, which is like cool as hell. Again, when I said that this show has a very strong opening, like going from like, oh, it's a school and she's shy to like, now there's like this evil organization and there's like this cool good guy organization that has this effing airship that they all live in, and it's just, listen, airships are just cool, okay?
This RPG party just showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah, they all have like cool ass designs. They all
this Final Fantasy crew.
I don't have like a good shot of like, there's not like a good shot of the entire crew, but there's actually, aren't they like in the opening? I could grab a screenshot real fast.
I can give you a picture I got one right for you right now.
I got one. Here you go, buddy.
literally from the like intro of the show.
That's literally the screenshot I was gonna go grab.
Oh, okay. If there's one without, if you have one without like the branding on it.
The branding.
Yeah. No, I do. This is a very cool like group.
Yeah, and we'll learn more about them as the show progresses, but like as far as like, you know, they just show up, they have all these like cool designs, they all have like jobs. There's like someone working
they all have like places on the ship. They're all really cool.
There's like the doctor, the chef, the like mechanic, the captain, and then the tech support, and then the old man.
Yeah.
The old man
who literally just fishes. Me in like 20 years.
The old man who bestows wisdom.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it's really sick to just go from like school setting to, oh yeah, now there's these organizations and there's like this giant cool ass flying airship.
Now we're a JRPG plot.
No, we're just, this is what I was talking about, where it's like more like action adventure where, you know, things just kind of happen. It's also, it transforms, because you see in this screenshot where like it has like wings and then it transforms into like a Pokemon's battle stadium. It's sick as hell.
Yeah, those wings are literally like an arena that fold out, which is a very cool design choice. I like that.
But yeah, this is the Pokemon I was talking about. You can kind of see them, but like you see Slugma and like the coal in the like furnace, and then like the coal guy.
Coal.
Why do they keep the Rotom phone, by the way? Because Rotom, they also had the.
Oh, it's just been a constant since Sword and Shield.
I thought it was Sun and Moon.
Well, Sun and Moon was your Pokédex specifically, but then they added it to like, now your Rotom's in your smartphone, and your smartphone also doubles as a Pokédex.
Yeah, I don't know, because then in Sun and Moon, like the Rotom Pokédex was like an actual like character in that show, but like they've kept the Rotom Dex around, but he doesn't have a personality anymore.
No, now it's just like these things are just in your phones. It's just a constant for most people.
Probably a good thing, because the Rotom Dex character in Sun and Moon was probably the worst part of that series.
It's also very egregious. It's more egregious in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. It's because I've been replaying that, and oh my god, he does not shut up.
I was talking about the anime, but yeah.
No, well, it's a similar like parallel to it, yeah.
But then we have Captain Pikachu, or Cap for short, and he's the best character because he
easily.
I mean,
there's very clear favoritism, but they managed to make it in a very cool way.
Like, listen, I liked Pikachu in the original show. Pikachu was like basically like the nanny, because he like was in charge of like, you know, keeping he was like the straight man for like Ash's and all of his Pokemon's insane antics.
Yeah. You
know, the whole like Pikachu trying to rescue Togepi who's always getting into trouble. I like Pikachu, so seeing Pikachu go was probably more impactful than Ash. But
don't worry, bias is still here.
I was gonna say, the fact they still got Pikachu here, we still, Ikue Otani does not get to rest. Been voicing this mouse for effing 20 years.
This yellow rat.
30 years. But
and, for those wondering, it is not confirmed that it's Ash's Pikachu. Actually, I think they essentially, like...
I was gonna say, it has
flat out say that it's not, but, like, it has
a completely different personality.
Yeah, it's completely... So, like, either he just, like,
and it's also...
became jaded, or...
He became jaded? The most wicked...
Or it's just, like, it's probably just a new dude.
Most Wikipedia things, list Captain Pikachu as a separate character.
Yeah. Pikachu, the cooler Pikachu.
The cooler Pikachu! Which I think is cool. Again, this whole effing show is cool. But, yeah, it's a cool way to, like, bring Pikachu back without it just being the same Pikachu. Again, it's not like, oh, this is my granddaughter, Kokobo.
Yeah, that is something the show does really well, is, like, it's just, like, we're not pandering. We're not gonna do that.
It takes the good parts of the previous show, but doesn't, like...
Spins it in its own way.
Yeah. So, like, we still got Pikachu, but Pikachu is it's a completely different Pikachu that's cool as hell and does the Gynax pose 24/7, and is super awesome.
While
and
standing on his tail.
Yeah, he stands on his tail, like, all the time. Which is, he's just in this pose, like, 24/7.
Good.
I love him.
Dude.
You know what I'm talking about with the Gynax pose? Like, from, like...
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Gurren Lagann and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah. Because, I watched Promare, and I think they do that a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a trigger show. Why have I not watched Promare?
Well, didn't... Oh, wait, no, yeah, you're right. The Promare's good.
Anyway, so they fight. It's also a good way to have, like, a high-level Pokemon battle, because, like, Liko just doesn't know what she's doing. She spends, like...
It's literally her first day.
Like, she learns, she spends, like, the first, like, episode and a half learning how to use, Leafage or whatever that move is.
Which murders the bit rate.
The bit rate murderer!
Yeah.
You're watching on Netflix, right, Dom? It's not on Netflix.
Me? Yeah.
Actually, I remember the Japanese Pokemon was on Japanese Netflix.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, you're using a VPN to watch Pokemon, gotcha. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Totally.
yeah, she learns Leafage, and then just, that's all she can do. She just shoot Leafage at people. There's a later episode where they learn to, like, fight, and, like, they do get better, but, like, that's their arc of, like, or that's her arc where she has to learn how to be a Pokemon trainer. So you don't get, like, super high level battles, but you do with this guy. I forget his name. What the fudge is his name? Freed, that's his name. Freed is effing cool, and he's he's the guy who has the Charizard and Pikachu, and yeah, he just wrecks shit. Because, like, Pikachu, that Captain Pikachu is, like late gen, like, late anime Pikachu OP powerful. Like, it knows Thunder, it knows Volt Tackle, it knows, like, I think it knows, like, a punching move.
It knows Thunder Punch.
Yeah, Thunder Punch, it knows Iron Tail,
Thunder Punch,
double team. Or Shadow Clone, or whatever they call it in the sub.
I don't remember.
But yeah, so you do get, like, these high-level battles, with these other characters, which is nice because, like, that also talks about, like, the bad guys, where they, like...
Yeah.
As much as I like Team Rocket, like, I have a soft spot for Team Rocket, I'm not going to...
No, that's absolutely fair. Everybody does. They were really good.
Yeah, here's a picture of Freed. It is nice that the new bad guys are actually, like, intimidating. Because, like, especially at the beginning where they were chasing her around the school, like, she had absolutely zero way to defend herself. She had to, like, just make a break for it.
Yeah, and I have a cat that can make a leaf flashbang, that's it.
I have a flashbang leaf cat. That's what I got, man.
All I got.
And she does use it. She does use it to, like, blind people, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, no, it's a good usage for the way of the move.
But, yeah.
Also, real quick, going back to Freed, looking at him, like, seeing him in this show, made me realize, pilot aesthetic, really good.
It's really good, like the pilot coat thing, I like it a lot.
Yeah. like sleeper aesthetic that I really enjoy actually. Like I learned that watching. I'm like, oh wait, no, I like this aesthetic a lot. It's real good.
Yeah, it's a good, just all around like good, very good character designs.
He's real, yeah. Reed is
Um,
probably one of my favorite characters, which is interesting because he's a Charizard user, so like he loses some points, but you know he gets good.
he's like the adult. He's like, you know, while you know Liko and the other character we haven't met yet, are like, you know, baby Pokemon adventuring, catching their first Pokemon, learning how type matchups work. You know, he's out there, he's doing stuff. He's fighting people. He's got like super moves. I don't know. He probably can shoot a Kamehameha.
He's the leader in quotes.
He's the leader of the bunch. You know him well.
Sort of.
We don't know him well. He's also very shrouded in mystery. Like we find out later that like, oh, you're actually a Pokemon professor. Is he in the game?
No.
Okay.
None of these characters, like the main cast, are not in the game at all.
Okay.
They are never.
Because like later like some Paldea gym leaders and Iono and the what's her face shows up, and I know they're from
Nemona
the game.
shows up.
Yeah, Nemo, whatever her name is.
Nemona, who is the main rival for Scarlet Violet.
But like,
who's
yeah,
one of the better rival. Going back to it, she's one of the better rivals, like in the series period.
Nice.
She's just Goku, but like in a cool way.
Hold that thought for later. But yeah, so yes, I was not 100% sure, but now I am. All the bad group and the main good group are all like original characters.
Yep.
Which is cool. Yeah, so yeah, they have like this big fight, and basically they're like, hey, your grandma wanted us to protect your pendant. We're actually not lying.
Well, I guess we should also go into the explorers a bit.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what I was in the middle of saying about how the explorers are actually like intimidating. Like even though like the Volt Takers have like this whole like airship, like they still like pose an actual threat.
Yeah, because they straight up just like the main dude, Amethio, I think is his name. Yeah.
Cause like
very cool design also as well.
If you have the one that has like the black and white hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to go.
I mean, if you want to simplify it a little bit,
which I am on, it's black and silver.
But technically.
Actually, but yeah.
Actually.
No, very cool design. Although he's in a suit in like this first episode, but which is still good.
But yeah, so they go and like attack like the ship, and like they do like significant damage, and like the ship is like broken, and that's like a plot point for like the next episode. Yep. And then they effing like even like this cool Friday guy is like cool enough to like fight them off, but they still like grab the cat.
Cat stolen. Oh yeah, also for I guess posterity, Amethio uses Ceruledge, which is one of the new Pokemon in Paldea, which is very cool. So I do think it's very funny. In Japanese, it's just called Soul Blades.
Soul Blade,
which is still a cool name.
Is that not his name?
in English, it is Ceruledge.
Oh, Soul Blade is a much better name. He's just a ghost.
Ceruledge is
ghost sword guy. He's cool.
Yeah, but it also just goes back to the makes me think about how a lot of Japanese Pokemon are just English words. Like Gengar is just ghost.
Yeah, and Umbreon is Blackie.
Let's not talk about that one. No, it's Umbreon all the way through. Let's not say words like that.
There's another one. Krabby. Oh my gosh! Imagine if they named an English thing just Krabby. That's so cringe.
What's Abra's like Casey or something? I'm sure there's a reason for it being Casey, but it's just funny that it just sounds like a person's name.
Casey.
Mm-hmm.
So
They've
yeah,
gotten better about that though in the future.
They do. What's up? Sorry.
It's like Soul Blades is still a cool name, but like it's still just English words.
Yeah. See, they have some cool animation, like this Pikachu in the rain was a pretty effing cool scene.
Oh no, that was a sick moment.
So yeah, they fight these off. They steal the cat, but then they go and then they rescue the cat. Again, it was like this big operation where Friday had to like distract somebody, and then Liko like ran off on her own. She had like this whole like character development of like learning how to be independent and stuff, and it's great.
Yep.
But again, and then afterwards she just joins the Well, I don't know. She doesn't like officially join them yet. They
No, they're just.
They're like, okay, we're gonna. Yeah.
Take you back home, I think is what it is, yeah.
Yeah, we're like, oh, you know, our mission was to, you know, get the pendant and then bring you back to your grandma. Also, at some point, in addition to wanting the pendant, the bad guys now also want to steal Liko because she, like, jumped off of a building and then, like, her pendant did, like, a big sparkle and, like, a Pokemon appeared out of it or something, and we don't know what's up with that. I didn't play the video game.
Well, actually, as of current, this Pokemon has not shown up in Scarlet and Violet either. It is going to appear in the second DLC.
Okay.
Name is Terapagos, in English at least.
Yeah, man, when did Scarlet and Violet come out?
November of last year.
Oh, so this series was actually a little bit after Scarlet and Violet. I complained about them pushing it out the door, but the first episode was in April 14th. I think it's because they were finishing off Ash's story arc.
Yeah, I think that's like the only reason.
But yeah, so now they want to both get Liko and her pendant.
Yeah, because something's going on there.
I should have split this up more. We'll do like closer to 12 episodes next time. I don't know. I was expecting there to be a lot more like filler episodes as far as like Pokemon goes, but like they get into the plot.
Crazy how the start of the show they want to put out as much story as possible.
Yeah, no. And then we also get Liko, who's been in her school uniform up until now, is now in this uniform. Or in like her new outfit. I like it. I think the bag is a little awkward. It makes her outline a little bit weird. Like the bag being in the front of her as opposed to the back of her looks a little bit weird.
Fair.
But otherwise, still like it. Yeah, here's a better like. Yeah, sometimes they don't even give her bag. Maybe they know. They know.
She doesn't need it sometimes.
She doesn't need it sometimes. Okay, so they let crash land. Their shit broken. I said ship. Don't worry, I didn't say a bad word. So anyway, the shit crashed. Their shit crashed.
Yeah.
And then
on an unknown island.
Did I really not get any screenshots of this dude? Here, just have a picture of this.
Yes. We'll get to him in a second.
Well, yeah, I think we're getting to him now.
No, you're right. Actually, wait, yeah, that's like the whole premise of this start, right?
Yeah, so they crash on an island, and then we get introduced to the second main character. I'm looking for a screenshot. All I have is a screenshot of him fishing. Why do I have, like, I took 100 screenshots. I don't have a single screenshot of just him. Okay, this guy. He's basically the Ash clone.
Yeah, a lot of his characteristics are very Ash-like, which is fair, because, like...
So, like...
It just works. It's... The thing is, like... Done to death, his, like, character tropes, they still work for this form of...
That's what I'm saying. There was a reason that Ash continued to be like some intolerable character for 30 years.
Yeah, like the whole like optimistic attitude and like very like headstrong and ready to go with whatever.
Yeah, like having like a high energy character that's like very like, you know, I have like these things I want to do, you know, I want to go on adventures. Very good for like an adventure series like this, but especially like for Pokemon, because like somebody'd be there, be like, "Oh my God, look, it's a fun electric bird thing. What the fuck is that thing?" It's very good. It's a good energy to have. Especially, again, I've talked about this the last like several discussions. I think the last two actually, the Oshinoko and the Gundam discussion, about how I like when there are like two main characters that have like a very good dynamic. And that is definitely the case here, because Liko and Roy are very opposite. The introvert and extrovert, basically. Yeah,
and they work.
They do work. They bounce off each other very well about, Roy helping Liko get out of her comfort zone and, like, go off on adventures and be more optimistic, and Liko having more of a, like, reflective, like, a more emotional intelligence, kind of.
Yeah.
And also, Liko gets to use what she learned, because during this arc, Roy runs into a similar problem where he wants to be friends with Hogator? What's his English name?
Fuecoco.
Fuecoco. He wants to be friends with
He's
Fuecoco.
another fantastic character in this show because he's just a funny dude.
He's a funny dude. I have not explained a lot. They crash landed on a island that's like off the a island of Kanto that's just off the coast. So they're technically in Kanto, but they're in like a random like part of it, and they meet this guy.
They don't really say where it is.
They just say it's like an island off of Kanto, and I'm like, were there any islands off of Kanto? Checks Pokemon Gen 1 notes. The Sevi Islands! No, don't say that!
You could argue that.
You give me trauma!
Or maybe the Orange Island.
The Orange Island now!
What?
It gives me trauma, because speaking of Pokemon filler...
Oh.
Like,
yeah.
Wasn't that the arc where, like, since Gold and Silver were delayed, like, a year, they had to do a bunch of filler, and Pokemon Ash just went to the Orange Islands and effed around a lot and did not do anything?
And then they put it in the Gen 1 remakes. Well, no, are the Sevi and the Orange Islands the same thing, or are those just, like...
I think those are different.
Separate. Okay.
Anyway. So, they find this kid, and, he is of note because he has a mysterious Pokeball, an ancient Pokeball. And he's like, whoa, what the hell is that? You know, and that's like his...
Just kind of had it.
MacGuffin. His grandfather gave it to him when it washed up on the beach. So that's his MacGuffin to go with her pendant. And they may or may not be related, who knows, man? But yeah, back to what I was...
Also, kind of an interesting thing. So, like, well, a point that I guess kind of comes across is like, well, wait, she left her school. How'd she go? She takes online classes, and so does
they both do. Yeah, I don't know. Like, again, why do they even bother introducing the idea of a school if they don't do anything with it?
Relatable to the kids, I guess.
I guess they didn't. They were sick of people asking, why isn't Ash in school? How did 10-year-olds just go off on adventures like this?
It's like, okay, here, shut up. And
like,
then
okay, whatever. Here.
Most of your knowledge you learn about the Pokemon essentially is through YouTube videos instead.
YouTube videos. I kind of interpreted that as like them looking it up, like when something happened that they needed to specifically learn. But yeah, again, why didn't? Yeah, that's a good point. Why did they not just incorporate that? They have in like the first.
Well, there's kind of a reason for it that we'll find out, that we'll talk about later.
Yeah, this is the only screenshot I have of it, but they have like these like they have like these like random cuts of like just intermissions of a YouTube video where there's like this character Gurumin in a costume with a duck.
In a Nidoran costume.
Was that what it's supposed to be?
I think so, yeah, because that's Nidoran.
Okay.
A female one, and then in English they obviously couldn't just call it Gurumin, and they changed it to Nido Thing.
Nido Thing. Wait,
yeah, like a joke on Nido King in the English, yeah. In the
game or in the sub?
No, in the dub of the show. They're
dub of the show.
Yeah, it is. They're not gonna call it Gurumin.
Wait. Like oh yeah, I was like, the dub of the show is not out yet. What the hell are you smoking?
No, the show's not out, but they still have like aspects of it brought up, and Nido Thing was one of the things that they brought up
for her costume.
Yeah, because the character's like a persona, online persona. Like it's not
persona. It's just like in the anime Persona 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an anime.
There is an anime. It's not good.
I mean, there is an anime. There is a Persona 5 anime.
Yeah, but yeah, like her.
But yeah, no, I get you.
The person's like online is named, and they're not gonna call them Gurumin because that's literally like a Japanese name.
But in the Japanese version, in the subtitles, they just call it Gurumin.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's like these,
which is probably a pun in of itself somewhere. Or probably the name of the Pokemon.
Mean can be like people. Whatever. We're staying focused.
We are. I mean, we're on topic.
Sorry, did you mean by Captain Pikachu? Did you mean the trading card game card Captain Pikachu? Focusing. We're on topic.
You brought that up. I don't know what.
There's these intro segments character good or mean is like a YouTuber. If I ever mention, I know I should think it's cringe, especially because I am one, but I think it's really funny whenever like media has like streamers for no real reason.
No, it's great, and I mean, she comes up later, but Iono is honestly one of my favorite gym leaders now because they do that trope perfectly. Especially
I was gonna
in the game.
say
It's fantastic. It's so funny.
I was gonna say later, but yeah, if I ever do play Scarlet and Violet, it will be because of her.
No, that's fair. She's definitely like one of the better, like best characters, if not in that game, in the series. She's well thought out and very funny.
Yeah, but going back to what we were talking about, why do they? So anytime they need to introduce a concept, like in this screenshot, they're talking about the different types of balls, and I remember I saw this like when the episode aired because people were like, did Pokemon anime just confirm what the inside of a Pokeball looks like? And I guess, I don't know if this is supposed to be what the ball looks like, because it's like a luxury ball. I don't know if this is what it's
probably just a joke.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a joke or if that's what it's actually supposed to look like.
The lore behind like Pokeballs has never been perfectly consistent.
Yeah, like how do they fit into wood?
Well, they kind of mentioned that in a way in Legends Arceus. It's a very passing thing, but it says like every Pokemon is able to shrink down to a minuscule size and fit into Pokeballs.
I mean, I guess that's kind of what's happening here, is that he's small and chilling
yeah,
out
but, like,
with a
it's
margarita.
Yeah, it's never been a consistent, like, it's never been consistent.
But I do like
how it works, what's inside.
I do love the screenshot of just the duck hanging out on a fancy couch with a margarita and a disco ball.
Was it
Quaxel?
Quaxley in English. I think it's Kawasu in...
Kuwasu.
Yeah, Kawasu.
But, anyway, what we're talking about? the new main character, Roy. He's cool. And he bounces off Liko really well. And Liko also has, like, a chance to, like, show what she learned because Roy wants to, you know, be friends with, Fuecoco. And, he's like, man, I just don't understand Fuecoco. And Liko has a moment where, you know, she tells something to somebody that she just learned some 12 minutes ago. She's like, you know, you have to be, you know, you have to try to understand your Pokemon and express your feelings and blah, blah, blah.
Also, we should, for continuity, I guess, say, Fuecoco was one of the Pokemon on the airship, and he fell off. And then got lost.
Yeah.
And Roy found him.
In addition to all the Pokemon that the airship crew has, there's just, like, loose Pokemon.
Yeah, they kind of just are around. And some of them, like, help out the other characters, but some of them are kind of just there. Like Noctowl, I think is just kind of there. Well, yeah, but I think they're also a lookout, is like how they come into it, and then
there's a couple others that just like don't have
Slugma, Carkol, and
no, I think Slugma and
they power the ship, but like so yeah, Noctowl I think becomes like a lookout.
Anyway,
there is just a Quagsire there for no reason.
I thought the Quagsire belonged to the old man.
Yeah, but like yeah, I guess that's more like he's not like a stowaway. He's kind of just belongs to the guy. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Not a stowaway. Anyway, so yeah, that's where he gets Fuecoco, and then he befriends Fuecoco, and then he's like, I'm gonna be a Pokemon too. Yeah. I'm going to be a Pokemon too. And then
that's when Mystery Dungeon starts, right?
That's when Mystery Dungeon starts.
Joke aside.
And then all of a sudden, out of Roy, like, okay, so they're being attacked, like, the explorers found them, they want Liko's pendant, they're about to attack, and then Roy's Pokeball, like, glows, and then out of it comes a shiny Rayquaza?
Yeah.
Like, that was, like, the most, like, what the fudge?
Yeah, no, that was very surprising. And that happened, it's like, oh, okay.
That was the most, like, oh, shit just got real.
Roy, where'd you get that?
I also really love...
How many resets did that take, Roy?
Resets? like A, that there was anything in that Pokeball, B, that the thing in that Pokeball would be so relevant so soon, and C, that the thing in that Pokeball was going to be that. Not
shiny Rayquaza.
Not just a Rayquaza, but a shiny Rayquaza, like that. And then he immediately starts like causing apocalyptic events, and then the bad guys are like, "We gotta get the fuck out of here, dude."
As a Rayquaza would do.
I didn't get paid. I don't get paid enough for this shit.
And he's there. They're out of there.
Yeah,
and then Rayquaza's like, "Okay, bye, peace."
Yeah, and then Rayquaza just kind of leaves. So like, it's a cool moment, but then like, it's more of like a tease because then he kind of just leaves.
Like, yeah, he pieces out.
Like, and they're like, okay. So then Roy's like,
so that happened.
And then Mario Wonderflower shows up. So that was happened. Just wow. I hate it.
That is my one gripe with it. We're not talking about
that. So now Roy's like, oh my gosh, now I have this goal. He wants to find Rayquaza.
Character motivation.
Now we have character motivation because he wants to find Rayquaza and figure out what the fudge is the mystery of like the ancient ball that his grandfather found, because his grandfather's like, I don't know, Rayquaza. I just found that on the beach one day.
Yeah, I just found this.
I found this. I also really like how they say Rayquaza in Japanese. It's like Rayquaza.
Rayquaza, yeah.
Rayquaza. I just love it. I like every time they say it. I smile every time they say it. So anyway, they want to find. So Roy's like, I want to find the Rayquaza and figure out what's going on, and also, how he came to understand Fuecoco and understands that Fuecoco like looks up to Charizard and wants to be as cool as Charizard.
Mm-hmm.
So that's his goal, is that he wants to find Rayquaza and help Fuecoco become stronger, and I guess just be a strong trainer in general. So I think that's a cool thing, because again, especially at this point, Liko doesn't really have like a goal, and we're not like going after like the league battles. We don't want to be the very best that no one ever was.
Yeah, he's like, I'm fine.
And even Roy isn't going after the league battles. He just wants to find Rayquaza and help Fuecoco become just as cool as Charizard.
Yeah, which I think works for like
an Ash type character.
Yeah, and also like being parallel to the games, because while the main thing is like, of course, obviously doing the gyms and everything, yeah, and Pokemon and everything, but there's also obviously like
mysteries.
Which doesn't
about like legendary Pokemon.
Yeah, which isn't as like apparent into like the modern games, because now it's just like, oh, all that stuff is just on the internet. You can just find like the secrets very easily. But like back in like Gen 1 and stuff, it was like, oh, there was like a bunch of like,
you under the truck.
Yeah, like a bunch of just like falsehood rumors. It was like trying to figure out which ones are real and like trying to like learn about the legends essentially.
Yeah, and that's that's kind of what they do here, because like the pendant and Rayquaza, like the pendant did a shine, and pendant shone. The pendant shined.
Past tense.
See, he doesn't know it either. You can't make fun of me.
Yeah, shined. Okay.
Shined?
Yeah, shined. I wasn't fully sure if it was that or not, but
anyway, it lit up.
Shone also could be.
It lit up,
right.
And then that's when the Rayquaza came out of the Pokeball. So like clearly all of this is like connected.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like and then frickin' frappin' frick. I think
remember that part.
I think yeah, like Roy's like asks his grandfather, "Can I go off on a Pokemon journey?" And he's like, "Sure." Have fun.
Well, at first he's like, "Lol, no," but then
no, he was like, because, you know, you're not just talking about your own goals, you're talking about that you want to help other people's goals. That's the first time that you've talked about wanting to help other people ever in your entire life, you miserable ingrate. So I trust that you are matured enough to go on a Pokemon journey.
You are now ready, child.
And I think at this point, they are both initiated into the club.
Sort of.
I know that there's some scene, I don't remember. Roy, I think, is an official member, but not. I don't know. They might.
Liko not yet. Liko not like fully yet. Fully yet.
I'm looking at my notes.
Well, because like, well, if we want to like just say it outright, it's like they're still kind of like their main goal is to like get her home.
Yeah. So, that's like the first arc. Now we have Liko and Roy, and we have a general idea of what we want to be doing. We want to find the Rayquaza, and we want to figure out what the fuck's going on with this pendant.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that Quaxley.
It's very good.
I will actually change the music. You cannot stop me.
Okay.
You will succeed. It is inevitable.
Oh, and also for this part, Roy like officially catches Fuecoco. And
yeah, I think that happened before Rayquaza showed up.
No, it's after.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm literally reading a synopsis right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah, because I remember it being weird that song is too loud. I remember it being weird that like he was fighting and commanding Fuecoco without like officially being a trainer.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. It can. Oh, what? One is too quiet and two is too loud, and there is literally no other thing I can pick other than those two. There's nothing between 1 and 2 on the stupid thingy mabobber. Okay, so that's the first arc. Do you have anything you want to say about the first arc? I just like. It's a really strong first arc. It gives you like a good goal. It introduces the characters.
Better,
yeah. Because again, especially from like episode 1, I was immediately like, I like these characters. Those are good characters. Yeah. We got Liko, who's like the shy introvert who's trying to be more sociable and come out of her shell, and we got Roy, who is a happy-go-lucky guy and wants to, you know, journey the world. They still hold to you must be 10 years old to be a Pokemon trainer thing. I don't think they bring up age at all, actually. I have no idea. I think that kind of stopped being a thing back in... I want to say Sun and Moon? No, maybe it was... There was some... I think it might have been Black and White, actually.
Black and White, they do, like, say a name. It was age. I think it was, like, 14 or 16 or something.
Yeah, they upped it at some point. I'm not sure when.
Yeah, but they, like, don't, like, all the time say it. Also, literally, who cares?
They also... Yeah, whatever. It's just a video game, guys. Relax.
Like, yes, obviously, in real-world
like,
application, you should not give 10-year-olds fire-breathing dragons, but...
Yeah, I think it was only a thing in the first game, just to be, like... Just to give you a reason that this is why the story is starting now.
Yeah, also just to, like, make it relatable to the kids who are...
10? Yeah.
Yeah, like the kids who are watching the show at that point.
But here they replace that with, like, oh, they're in school. Because also Roy does school. And
yeah,
he does
takes online classes.
Yeah, and that's how they're able to do this Pokemon. So I guess they're technically in school.
Yeah, they
are. They're also going on this adventure. It was only in the anime. Yeah. Was it not? Oh yeah, I guess I don't remember. But yeah, I don't know. That's.
I think it originated in the show where they like actually brought up an age, but then Black and White they like brought the age up, and then they just haven't mentioned it since because literally who cares?
To answer your question, no. To answer your question, no. They do not do the whole you turn 10 now your Pokemon adventure starts. They're just in school. They're just in school, and then they each have their own reasons. Like Liko is returning the pendant to her grandma, and Roy wants to know where Rayquaza went. Wants to know more about Rayquaza.
And like the whole like school thing, it kind of has like another parallel towards the game because like in Scarlet and Violet you are in a school, but the entire point is like you're not in school for that part during the game, and you're doing your own thing
on
essentially.
summer break.
No, it's not summer break. It's actually like a part of like school activities is to go out into the region and like find your treasure essentially.
do a
It's
an
not like
internship?
actual. No,
Anyway, yeah.
but like
Good-
it's a cool parallel to it for like towards the game.
I guess that's why. I know in Sun and Moon, it was just a slice of life high school anime in disguise.
Yeah.
Anyway, next batch of episodes will just be 7 and 8. Because, so they have this, like, really strong, like, first arc, and then they just kind of hang out on the ship while they go to Paldea. Like, they have, like, the 2 episodes of just travel time, and this is the kind of filler. I mean, it's not...
Things happen here.
It's not necessarily filler. It's not... Listen.
I would argue that there's like a fairly important thing that happens here for both episodes.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, like, you should skip 7 and 8. Like, things still happen, but, like, compared to, like, the first, like, those are the first 6 episodes of, like, Liko starting in school, and then meeting Nauha, and, trying to be kidnapped, and meeting the new people, and finding those people, and then getting Nauha back from the kidnappers, and then, you know, finding Roy, and then finding the Rayquaza, and then Fuecoco. All that was, like, 6 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, the next 2 episodes, like, yes, still have importance, but it's a lot, like, slower, you know? Like,
it's subdued into what is happening, but I would argue it is not filler.
yeah, it's not filler, but it's filler-like.
No, I would argue it's not filler at all.
Why must you be so difficult, Dom?
Because I'm just speaking my mind. That's what I believe.
It's not filler, but it's slower than the rest the series have been up to at this point.
Yes, the pacing slows down, but I would argue that it's not filler because some things actually still occur in some aspect. Because I would argue character development is still something going.
Yeah, no, they introduce a whole ass new character.
A whole new character, and then like the main characters develop more.
Yeah, the first episode.
So it's not filler.
Episode 7. Listen, I know it's not filler. Okay, calm down. Simmer it down.
I'm just saying.
Bug Catcher Jimmy isn't 10. It's Bug Catcher Jimmy. Pokemon Encyclopedia Man. I'm sorry for being mean to you earlier. Please.
They're just saying it's just a name for a joke because there's just a lot of bug catchers.
Oh yeah.
Also, I like how you said bug catcher and not the literal preschoolers that are in some of the games.
I was gonna say, if you have to be 10, why are the preschoolers like? I don't know, man. Anyway,
it's almost like it was just a thing they brought out and they never really thought about it much, and it's not really consistent. And who cares?
Yeah. So the first episode, Liko and Roy, like train with Captain Pikachu, and then they understand, like, oh yeah, you shouldn't just Ember, you know, because that's all that they were doing.
Teaching the kids, hey, don't just
don't spam. Stop being such a masher. Well, it wasn't a monotype move. It was like, oh, you have to pay attention and look at what your opponent is doing, you know?
Yeah.
And then
I was just making a joke to the parallels of the kid who has a level 100 Charizard that's his only Pokemon that only knows fire moves.
Yeah, maybe that is what that was referring to.
Essentially. If not like actually, it just made me think of it, which was funny.
And then they introduce the last member of the Volt Tacklers. Did I say Nauha earlier when I meant to say Grass Cat? Whatever.
I mean, you can say either one. It doesn't matter.
Nauha is the Grass Cat.
They're both correct. They're both correct.
But yeah, and then the other episode, they introduce like, oh yeah, we have like it's like the chef's like daughter or like niece or whatever.
Niece. Yeah.
Yeah, niece.
Murdoch's niece.
And he's like, oh yeah, she's my niece, and we've never mentioned her, or she's never appeared until now, but she does like the tech work. Like she made like because they talk about how she made the Volt Tackler app, and that's like the app that they got.
Yeah, like which is like a chat app essentially.
I was gonna say like this is our official app that proves that you're a member of the Volt Tacklers, and they're like, cool, what can it do? You can message members, and I'm like,
Well, it's a,
So it's a group
chat service.
It's a group chat. It's a group like they talk about like it's the purple girl is Dot. They talk about her like she's a tech wizard who made this app, and it's just like a group message group chat. Yeah, and they have like this thing. I think she's in the 7th episode, but they go on to it and like they're very not coy about that Dot is Gurumin. That is
Oh, yeah, no, like that's like one of the first straight up things they kind of like bring up when they start making her up.
Yeah, because she's a cool character. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I like her
because she was introduced at this point in the story. I was like, I was not too keen because I'm like, I wish all these other characters got introduced while there were things happening. Like we got to go Liko and Roy while like plot was also happening. But so why we need an entire episode to just talk about Dot? But no, I like Dot. I'm not gonna lie, I like Dot. That's a cool I guess like a more hardcore version of Liko, like more showing that how much Liko has changed because like you know. She's like, oh wow, you're just like how I used to be, and I want to be your friend, and you know, trying to come out of my shell and whatnot and stuff like that. And Dot is just like super introverted unless they're making a YouTube video.
Yeah,
which I think is a fun,
literally shut in status.
Yeah, they're a hikikomori.
Bless you.
What were you saying?
Yeah.
Just bless you. That's all I had to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, she's like, yeah, like you said, it's just like Liko's just introverted, but Dot is literally like a shut-in.
So I think
also is a YouTuber, but you never see it. But she like wears a funny little Nidoran costume
and does like a fake voice. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Liko doesn't know that Dot is a YouTuber.
Yeah. Also, we should mention that Liko is a avid fan of Gurumin.
Yeah, because that's how Liko tries to make friends with Dot, because she hears like Dot's like theme song or Gurumin's theme song coming from Dot's room, and she's like, "Oh, you watch Gurumin too? We should be friends. Because we're both such big fans of Gurumin."
Mm-hmm.
Which is a running joke about Liko does not know, but everybody else knows, and Dot doesn't want to say it. Dot doesn't want to say it outright. So it's fun. It's just I just wanted to put these episodes aside because like they're in the middle of like 2 big arcs, because like 1 to 6 is like this huge like intro arc, and then like 9 to 12 is also like another big arc. It's just like 7 and 8 that's just like, I don't know, I don't hate it because I do like that there is like, because like I do like how there is some travel time between these 2 places. It makes it feel like the world is big if it takes like a decent amount of time and effort, because like in the last series, Pokemon Journeys, like they just went over to, you know, they were in Kanto and then they just went over to Paldea for 1 episode and came right back. Like it was no big deal. Like it was just like the next town over. But like these are supposed to be like regions that are like in different parts of the world.
Yeah,
you know,
I would say 7 is like somewhat important because like it's giving them literal like actual good advice for like being a trainer, because that is what they are now doing.
Yeah, it's just,
and also it's just really they just wanted to flex how cool Pikachu was again.
Yeah.
Like I'm not arguing that like oh no, it's vastly important. Like no, this slows down a hell of a lot, but like there's a reason for this episode to exist.
Yeah, it's not like filler. Like don't skip it if you are planning to watch the series, but like
and then 8 is just like
it's one of the
introduces a whole new character.
It's one of those things where like the show has been really like fast paced and doing a lot of things at the same time, and then the show will continue doing that. It's just for these 2 episodes, it just kind of does one thing an episode.
Yeah.
You know, like the episode 7 is all about Liko and Rory learning that one thing about Pokemon battles. And episode 8 is just learning that Dot exists. I'm looking up. No, there's nothing else in that happened. nothing in that episode ever happens. But again, I like that there's like at least some travel time. I wish there was more interesting things in the travel time, but whatever.
Well, the thing, like, what would they do?
I mean, they stopped at like a port to get like the whole thing about with Roy was a diversion because they had to stop in order to fix up their thing, and they had needed like the Caterpie and the Scyther to help fix their balloon.
Yeah, then they fixed it. Then they moved on.
So, but like also plot happened. So I don't know. I just like.
Yeah, I just don't know. I'm just not. Like, I guess what I'm failing to understand is like what would happen instead during the travel time.
More interesting things? I don't know.
Such as
more than one thing happening in an episode. The show has been good about.
I see what you mean, but I don't know. It's gonna have slow sections. That's just what happens.
Yeah, it's just an inevitable part of Pokemon, and I guess that does help make the more higher pace sections better. It's not as
also, I will admit
it's not as bad as Sonic Unleashed.
Like...
What's up?
Oh, well, you finish your thing.
No, I wasn't talking about anything. I wasn't making a Sonic reference.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we gotta fill in our quota for that. What is it? Nope, I forgot what I was gonna say.
It's gone. I was saying it's not as bad as Sonic Unleashed by... At least it's only like these 2 episodes in the middle of like otherwise like 2 episodes after 6 episodes is fine.
Oh, I remember. I think it's also just the fact that I'm just more forgiving on stuff like this because it's like, you know, not everything needs to have a perfectly intricate purpose for every single frame of the show.
I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. Changing pace is not always bad as long as it's not too obtrusive. And again, it's not nothing happened. There was things that happened.
Yeah. Like sound advice for the main characters for them to grow and then an introduction to a new character.
Anyway, next Archnheim. Which is 9 to 12, which I guess is not that many episodes. 9, I can't count. 9, 10, 11, 12, 4 episodes. Where they arrive in Paldea and they kind of just go around. I've already mentioned one of my favorite things about the Pokemon anime is learning what all these Pokemon sound like. Like this this guy who was on like this like bike Pokemon.
Cyclizar.
That dude I couldn't pay attention to a single thing that they were saying in that entire scene because the entire background was just like Cyclizar like mimicking motorcycle noises.
Oh, it's great. It's really fun.
He was like, it's so funny, dude.
No, it's great.
And I'm like, you know what? You're right. That's exactly what a motorcycle Pokemon would sound like, is an animal trying to sound like a motorcycle. There's no... I could not imagine anything else that he would sound like.
Well, okay, here's the thing. So, this image right here. So it's not as motorcycle as you would think, because the seat and the handlebars
don't exist.
Those are just... No, someone just put those on. Also, the, like, back tire thing looking thing, that's its tail curled up.
Because I know, like, it's related or something to the, like, the box legendaries. But I haven't played the game. I don't know what it is.
I don't know if I should say it.
Of evolution, alternate form, you get the idea.
Yes.
Cyclizar, there he is. That is his tail curled up. And also, yeah, he doesn't have the handlebars. But he's still like a bike, and he still makes bike noises.
Normal dragon type, and you can get it fairly early in the game, actually. I didn't use it, but apparently it's pretty good.
It's normal / dragon type. He's not saying that it's like a normal-ass dragon type.
No,
he's saying that it has
normal
2 typings, normal and dragon. Which the typing normal has always sounded awkward. Because, like, what is normal type neutral? I think might be a better type. I don't know. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
In Japanese, they call it Norumu or Noruma? Normaru? Normaru. I think it's Normaru.
I think it's just Normaru, yeah.
So, like, the English word. Normaru type. Yeah. Makes slightly more sense, but no, it's whatever. Not important. Brum, 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 brum.
Very funny. It also gets a pretty interesting move.
Roll out.
No, it gets its own like signature move called
Peel out.
Tail, I think.
Peel out.
No, it's called like Shed Tail, where it switches itself out to another Pokemon, but also puts up a substitute.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I
didn't use it though.
Only goddamn screenshot I have of this. This episode was really cool because Liko continues to be a relatable character and have character development. I should have used this. Like, this is Liko's room. I should have used this as the background for the stream.
Well, you could have.
It's not high quality enough. It's fall, y'all. What was I?
Yeah, we're in Paldea now.
But yeah, so they arrive in Paldea, and then Liko gets home, and she gets kind of sad, because she's like, oh, I guess that's my adventures with the Volt Tackers are coming to an end, because that as soon as we get here, that's it. That's the end of their mission. They got paid to bring me here. I gotta go home. And then she's like, well, do I want to continue adventuring with them? I don't know. She has like, she basically gets home and she just has a hard time deciding what she wants to say, or like she has a hard time deciding if she wants to stay home or continue adventuring. And she kind of like bottles up her feelings and has a hard time like figuring out what to say. The whole like thing about like, oh, I can't get other people to understand me, and she's like, I don't even understand myself. So she's like, I just like the conflict that she has of like, oh, I don't know what to do. And then her dad was talking about how he was worried about her, and she's like, I didn't know you were so worried about my dad. And yeah, she's also just gets like, I don't know, just relatable in the way that like during this conflict, like she kind of gets quiet, like people are having conversations, and she's like, yeah, like while she's like clearly distracted about like this decision that she's making. Yeah. And that is a thing that I do more often than I'd like to admit. And then like they introduce like the bread dog.
Fido.
Fido?
Mm-hmm.
That what it's
Fidough.
Oh yeah, that's adorable. It's Puppy Mochi.
It's a very good. A very good name.
In Japanese, it's Puppy Mochi, and also a good one. But yeah, Grass Cat gets jealous of Puppy Mochi that her dad has. And then also, yeah, I think like they end up spending a night apart from each other. While Liko doesn't like get any sleep that night because she doesn't know what to do. Again, relatable.
Yeah, because like Sprigatito's like kind of like acting kind of like more sassy towards Liko and like just not being around her, and she doesn't understand why.
Yeah, but then she sleeps on it. She thinks really hard. She talks to the old man of wisdom, the old fishing man of wisdom, and she decides, like, hey, no, I don't want my adventure to be over. I don't want to go back to school. I want to keep going on Pokemon adventures. So she has this big thing where, like, she's becomes, like, confident in herself, and she goes to her dad and, like, just tells, like, hey, Dad, this is what I want to do. It's something that seems easy, but because she's so, like, unsure of herself and socially anxious, it's like a big character moment. It's just great, and I love these characters.
Yeah, they're good.
So yeah,
also, I guess to give some background to Liko's literal dad, he's a artist for he's like a children's book artist.
Yeah, gets relevant later, but yeah, and her mom is like
currently in like an artist block, really.
And her mom is a school teacher.
Yeah, like in the big Paldea Academy. And
her grandma is just off on it, is not there because
whatever.
We should have mentioned that earlier, that they went home to meet Liko's grandma, because that was like the client that they were hired
that
by.
Was like the whole point of the thing, yeah.
But her grandma's
she's not here.
Her grandma's not there. Grandma's off going on having Pokemon adventures
with her what is it called in Japan. Windy, I think.
Oh, the Arcanine.
Yeah.
I just can't. Both of those names are really bad, even though I like Arcanine a lot.
No, I think Arcanine's Arcanine's literally my favorite Pokemon, so I'm biased. But
He's a canine.
yeah, I like how it's probably pronounced Arcanine, but nobody calls it that.
Yeah.
I just like him because he's a big old dog.
No, he's a great Pokemon. One of those things that I thought he was like a legendary Pokemon, but no, he's just a cool fire type.
Well, because it's his Pokedex thing calls him the legendary Pokemon.
Yeah, I think. Also, yeah. Also, I'm looking at his Bulbapedia, and it also mentions how the first episode of the Pokemon puts him in the same category as like Moltres, Articuno, Vulpix.
Oh yeah, with like that little tablet thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Also, apparently, I'm scrolling down. Apparently, Roy is missing a finger in one of the shots in this episode.
They do that sometimes. I noticed a few of those myself, of like animation errors that happen sometimes.
Yeah, it's just sometimes something to just like, even though there's like a lot of people working on it at the same time, sometimes you just miss something like that.
It's a weekly show. They got to make 20 minutes of anime every single goddamn week, and even though they got like Pokemon money, it's still not easy.
No amount of money can save you from crunch. Especially
when people are leaving because they're tired of the working conditions. We talked about this earlier. Anyway, yeah. So then Liko becomes an official member of the Volt Tacklers, and yeah, and Liko also wants to continue adventuring because she wants to know what the hell is going on with her like gem that she got from her grandma.
Yeah, she wants like answers for that.
And like, what is the connection between that and like the Rayquaza?
Yeah.
And then, okay, listen. And then episode 10 happens, and then they are like, "Hey, remember that there's a video game associated with this series?" Like, okay, listen. Okay, not to go back to the filler argument again.
No, okay. Here's the thing.
What were you thinking? I was gonna say.
Well, here I'm just going off of like you. I will argue for like 7 and 8 like having some semi-importance. 10 doesn't really matter that much.
I was gonna say kind of the opposite.
Really?
Because
well, hold on, let me reread this.
Because they in episode 10 they introduce 2 new characters, the game character and like one of the gym leaders.
Wait, no, yeah, okay.
And
I'm thinking of something completely different actually.
They go to this town because they're like, hey, her dad's like, hey, I know somebody in this town knew something about the Black Rayquaza, so you should talk to him about it.
Yeah, so they go to Artisan. Can you guess what they do there?
Art.
Haha. And they go see Brassius, who is one of the gym leaders in Paldea.
Yeah, I have a picture of him as well. He's a cool ass design, I'm not gonna lie.
No, he's cool. He's kind of a weirdo, but yeah.
He's a weirdo, that's why I love him.
No, like that's one of the things. I would argue the gym leader designs, most of them at least, are very good in this game.
Like, how'd you sleep last night? Well, why you ask? Slept a full 8 hours, why do you ask? That's the kind of face that he has. But yeah, like there's a lot of things, like they go to this town, they learn about this town, meet this new girl, meet this new guy. He has this whole thing about how, like, you know, he saw the Black Rayquaza and that scarred him for life, and because none of the art that he makes anymore is as cool as that Rayquaza. And they also
go ahead.
And they also introduce like the Terra types.
Yeah, they introduced the terrestrialization. Also, that girl that you just kind of glossed over is Nimona, and she is your rival in the game and also the champion.
Oh, nice. Is that a spoiler, or is that from the beginning?
Yeah, they straight up say that she's the champion, I think. And even in the game, that's like one of the things. Like, she's a champion rank trainer. So here, the thing in Paldea is it's kind of weird. There's multiple champions.
Ah, nice. I thought you were just spoiling things, like, oh yeah, did you know that Gary Oak?
No, that's just something they bring up at like the beginning of the game. Is like Nimona is it's called champion rank instead.
But I mean, I was saying
it's something that anyone can reach apparently.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just saying, like, episode 10 does all these things So, like, yeah, you can definitely, like, compared to episode 7 and 8, like, which did, like, one thing an episode, like, episode 10, like, introduced 2 characters, and progressed, like, the main plot, and, like, introduced Terra types. Which maybe...
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, like, comparative, this is definitely a better way to do it, yeah.
Also, what I don't know what this thing is, but it's wet. It has a frame where it's wet and it fucking cracks me.
Oh, that's Pomo? Yeah, Pomo. That's the Pikachu clone of this region.
Yeah, the Pikachu clone. He's wet. Because like one of the like olive Pokemon like squirts olive on him and he gets wet. It's just a wet cat. It's so funny, dude.
Actually, here I'm gonna give you this thing's entire evolutionary line because I did use this thing, but this is what
I was gonna say. I can't. Does it evolve? It looks like it's the same Pokemon, but it just gets taller.
Yeah, it just gets a little bit like. Yeah, that's literally it. And its final evolution still isn't even that tall. I think it's like, hold on, let me see.
Oh, yeah, no, there's 3 evolutions. This thing's the middle evolution.
Yeah, its final evolution is 211.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it is an electric fighting type, and I used it in my game, and it's actually pretty good.
As far as Pikachu clones are concerned, kind of low, but it's okay.
I like it, but it's not, you will never be Mimikyu.
Yeah, not as good as Mimikyu, not as good as a Alolan Raichu. I don't know. Does that count as a Pikachu clone?
It could be worse though. You could be Togedemaru.
Togedemaru wasn't. At least was round.
I don't know. I just didn't think it was that great.
What was the?
No wait. What was?
Yamper. I think kind of.
No.
The Corgi? No.
No, that wasn't the Pikachu clone. What was? I actually don't know what it was.
I wanna say the closest thing we got was Yamper.
No, there was definitely something else. Go on, I'll look for it.
Sorry, Wanpachi. I was like, almost forgot its Japanese name. The 30 episodes I saw of 7. Oh yeah, what was the whatever? We're not talking about Pikachu clones. For 40 minutes. I don't think there was a Pikachu clone. If you don't count Wanpachi, then I don't think there was a Pikachu clone in 7 or 8. Oh, Morpeko.
Morpeko, yeah.
So obviously not that great because completely forgot about him.
No, the thing is, I literally talked about this someone yesterday, and I totally forgot about it.
Trainer is more memorable than actually is.
Its gimmick was also just kind of dumb.
About how it got hangry.
Yeah, every other turn it like changed forms, and like the idea of like its signature move type changing depending on the form it's in is like interesting, but like it's still not a good Pokemon anyway, so there's no point using it.
It's also outclassed by Marnie. Marnie? What the hell was her name?
Marnie.
Marnie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this might be one of the longer anime discussions that we've done.
That's fine. I think Pomod is good. Mainly just because I used it.
Fair enough. That it does give you a bias.
Yeah. But also just electric fighting is a very interesting type because there's not a lot that are that type.
Speaking of more Scarlet Violet slander, they also introduced Terra types in this episode, and again, I didn't play the game, but I was vaguely aware what Terra types were. It just changes the type, right? Does it make it makes them stronger too, right? They didn't really explain in the show.
So what it does is it changes the Pokemon's type to just the Terra type as a monotype, regardless of what it is, and any move that is that exact same type, it essentially does 2 times damage instead of 1.5 for stab.
Okay, yeah, they showed it off in an interesting way because he was like, "Oh, I'm the grass type trainer," and he uses a pseudo Wudo. I don't remember why, but he and Roy fight.
I think it's just because like Roy wants to like test his abilities essentially, or something like that.
And I think the other guy wants. They want information.
Yeah, they want information, and Brassius is like, he's in an artist block right now.
Fight me, biatch.
Yeah, and like, yeah, stuff like that.
So yeah, I think it is cool. He's like a grass type trainer, and then he sends out Pseudo Wudo, who is infamous for not being a grass type Pokemon.
You're rock.
And he gets bamboozled by Roy gets bamboozled because he's like, oh, if I got a fire type, so this will be easy, and uses Ember, and it does nothing against Sudowoodo. And he Terra types it so to be an actual grass Pokemon.
Yeah, it's cool.
And like
that was one of the more interesting uses of Terra type. We'll finish your thing because I have I'm gonna try and make it condense it, but
no, explain to me. I was just gonna complain about Terra types.
No, I was too. No, I was too. I did not use it a lot because it doesn't feel like that impactful towards the game anyway. It
feels like it was like a competitive meta thing.
No, absolutely. No, it absolutely feels like it was done for competitive.
Is fine, but like compared to all the other like super moves, like it's
I miss Mega Evolution every day.
I was gonna say Mega Evolution's cooler because they get a super form, and I'm just a sucker for super forms. And then I think Z moves were better because they were like big, giant, flashy, cool moves. Dynamaxing was cooler because they turned into Godzilla monsters and they got kaiju battles. At least as someone who is very into the anime, like just visually speaking, like Terra types are like the most like boring. Because like they get
interesting things with them in the game, but that's like kind of it.
Yeah, it's more of an interesting game mechanic than like visually appealing, so it doesn't like quite translate to anime. Like it's cool like later on, like Friday like randomly pulls out a Terra type, and that's cool, but like
yeah,
it's like, I don't know, man, like Mega Evolutions and X and Y were really cool, and then especially with the animation and the Sun and Moon anime, Z moves were so effing cool.
Yeah.
And then in what I saw of Pokemon Journeys, like the giant ass like kaiju battles, like Godzilla effing battles in Pokemon.
Yeah, Dynamaxing was like, they have gotten like I guess you call them gimmicks, but like just how the each one has been like definitely lowered in like intrigue and stuff.
I don't know. I would say
here's the thing. If it was consistently Mega Evolution, if we still had Mega Evolution to this day, I feel like I would be tired of it. But it's just because we haven't had it for so long, I kind of miss it.
Yeah.
But also, I understand the reasoning for it because you want to have it so every single Pokemon has access to this gimmick.
I feel like
that's what Z moves kind of did.
Yeah, Z moves were good enough for that.
Yeah, and then Dynamaxing worked because every Pokemon can Dynamax, but some Pokemon have Gigantamax, which is a completely separate form, and the only difference is like it gets a special move instead.
And a different form.
Yeah, and then Terrassalizing is just like, well, any Pokemon can essentially be any type.
Yeah, as far as like gameplay mechanic, like Terrassalizing is probably like the most like balanced, because like as cool as Mega Evolutions were, like you just did there was no strategy behind Mega Evolutions, you just did it. You could only do it once per battle, but like 90% of the game, like you only need it once per battle anyway.
The same thing, I mean, it goes for Dynamaxing Terra typing as well. Because you can only Terrasalize one Pokemon. Yeah. And they can still faint, and if they faint, like, you can't Terrasalize again.
And I think
also another reason I didn't like it was because in the base game at least, you had to go to a Pokemon Center to recharge the orb.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah, it was kind of whack.
But yeah, no, as far as like anime is concerned, like Terrestrial types are definitely like boring. Maybe they can make it more interesting, but like I don't know, Pokemon has never been the Pokemon anime specifically has never been like a huge stickler for types.
Yeah,
infamously.
I think the best way to explain
Pikachu use Thunder Shot on the horn. That'll work. It did.
Yeah, it somehow did. But yeah, I think because the game does a fantastic showcase of how Terrassalizing could be interesting, and then also one of the worst things for the Electric Gym, Iono's gym, she has a Miss Magius, which has an Electric Terra type. Now, if you recall, Miss Magius, one of Miss Magius' abilities is Levitate, so it makes it a Pokemon that has no weakness.
Oh, nice.
Which is very interesting. And then at the same time, the normal gym leader, his ace Pokemon is a Staraptor, which is like, oh, cool. So if you're just spamming fighting moves, then it'll at least be neutral to it. And then he Terrassalizes it to a pure normal type. So it's like, okay,
well,
I'm okay.
Punch in the face.
I'm just going to use the fighting move again.
But yeah, I don't know. The way that anime introduced it was interesting by like, oh, it's Sudowoodo, and now it can actually be a grass-type Pokemon.
Yeah, that's another cool way to use terrestrialization.
But like, as far as like anime is concerned, like, I don't know. But they might bring it back. I don't know, man. There was a random episode of Pokemon Journeys where like somebody randomly just pulled out a Mega Stone and it was like, holy frick! So it's not beyond the realm of possibility that they might bring those back. Especially
for the games, I don't know, but for the show, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Can you just not Mega Evolution in newer Pokemon games?
The last game you could Mega Evolve in was Sun and Moon.
Okay.
Or no, Let's Go.
Let's Go. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
it's a game that it's the last game chronologically that has Mega Evolution, so I would say it counts.
You're the last game chronologically that has Mega Evolutions.
That's not true because I can't do it.
First of all, I'm not a video game.
There's multiple things wrong with your argument.
So anyway, they do all this in one episode, and yeah, it's just a good episode, especially compared to the not filler episodes of 7 and 8.
Comparative to 7 and 8, yeah, this one it treats everything better. Yeah.
Yeah. So then
I don't know why I said that like I had something else to say. I didn't.
So then they go into the. So then they're like, okay, I saw the Rayquaza in the forest. So then they do like this forest arc where they go into the forest. And then they actually we get our first instance of learning more about a random member of the Volt Tacklers, because she decides to come along for a reason.
Personal reasons. Yeah, Molly.
Molly, is that her name?
Yes.
But yeah, I can't believe after 30 years of the Pokemon anime, they finally decide to do something interesting with the Nurse Joy character.
No, that's what I was gonna say. This is one of the more interesting characters out of the bunch. I mean, they're all good characters, but she's like very interesting. Yeah,
up until this point, she's just been like the kind of like the healer type, like the first aid girl. And she has like a Chansey, and then it's revealed that like, oh yeah, you know, I come from a long line of Pokemon nurses, and I was a nurse at one point, but then I decided to quit. And I'm like,
they do it in an intriguing way because like, when you think about it, I mean, they even bring it up like Nurse Joy. They only heal like trainers Pokemon because they go into the establishment and like, hey, help.
Oh yeah. They
like, never really like
the reason that she
wild Pokemon.
The reason that she quit is because she
defected from the cause.
Defected is because not because she doesn't want to be a nurse, but because she wants to help Pokemon everywhere, not ones that just come to the place.
Yeah.
So that's a good reason for her like wanting to join the Volt Tacklers, because they like go all over the world, and you know, that's what she kind of wants to do, is go all over the world and help Pokemon everywhere. But yeah, it's just, I think it's just one of those like cool reveals that like, you know, it's not super obvious, but like once it happens, you're like, oh yeah, she has a Chansey just like all the other Nurse Joys, and also her hair kind of looks like a Nurse Joy, and also she's a healer, and also there was that one scene where she and like Liko were like delivering something to a Pokemon Center, and then she stopped like right before the door and was like, hey, you got the rest on your own, I'm not gonna go in.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so there you go.
It all comes together.
But that's cool, because like it's been a big
writing.
It's been a big meme like in the Pokemon community about how all the Nurse Joys are the exact same.
They even joke about it multiple times in the.
Yeah, they joke about it in the anime. Like they show like a family photo of the nurse. Like this was back in like Gen 1. They show a photo of like the Nurse Joy family, and it's all like the same person.
Yeah, then they do the same thing with Jenny, and then she never shows up again.
Yeah, I forgot that wasn't even a character until I like was rewatching some of the old anime.
I think Gen 2 was like the last. I mean,
I'm gonna say 3. I could be wrong.
Maybe
we're gonna fact check. But yeah, just like that they did that this was like a big meme in the Pokemon community, and
apparently she shows up in Journeys.
Oh yeah, well that's like a everybody comes back kind of thing.
Yeah, everyone is here. You're right.
That's like a Sonic Generations kind of thing.
Well, as far as the show, she shows up every time in like the show at least once, it seems.
Oh,
But
yeah, I
as
think she might have
for
been
the
in the moon. Like
as for the games though, she's only showed up in yellow,
That's funny.
to
Anyway,
my knowledge.
yeah, just a fun character arc of like, you know, slowly learning about all these like cool wacky characters that are on this boat.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, what other things, other secrets are these people hiding? And she's got a cool design about how,
she's good.
as far as like the character concept of like a Nurse Joy who rebelled, like it's a very good character. Like she's still got like the hair and like the nurse like uniform, but like she's got like a jacket over it, and she's got like something about her hair. She's got like specific stylings in her hair.
Yeah.
That's she looks cool. I like her.
Yeah, also, going back to a tangent we talked about forever ago, Chansey's name is just Lucky in JP, so
That's a funny name.
but it's just the case of like
I think that might have just been a thing about Gen 1.
Gen 1 mostly. I think maybe 2 had some of it, but it was the most egregious in 1, which was just kind of silly.
In English too, with Seal and
Dugong, yeah.
No, it's just Seal and Krabby and also Ekans and Arbuck.
Yeah, it was just old things, but like people making fun of names now, like come on. I think Flamigo is a funny name. I'll say it.
I know, what is it? Oh yeah, Psyduck is just Koduck.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
In Japanese. Don't know, that's all I have to say about that. Is Koduck. So they at least tried. What are these pictures that you are sending me on Discord?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, one was Roy's missing finger, and then the other one is the...
Oh, I was like, this is a good screenshot, but why? Do you want me to show it? I'm like, oh.
No, it was just something I talked about earlier, that in that episode, Roy just is missing a finger.
I will show...
And by missing, I mean it's just like they didn't
the
put a
people
line
at
there,
home.
so it looks like he just has a big old finger.
His big old Simpson-ass finger.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they go to the forest. Its shit's burned down. They find a Wooper who is brown. Is that like a regional thing? I think they said
it's called Paldean Wooper.
Okay, I didn't know if it was a Sword and Shield or Scarlet Violet thing.
It's a Scarlet Violet one.
Okay. It explains it that it's like a Wooper that like adapted and it lives with poison mud or something.
It lost, from what I remember, it lost a territory dispute in Paldea and then evolved to get a poisonous film around its body. And then Liko immediately touches it.
And then Liko immediately touches it and it's like, ow, this hurts.
Like, well,
it was hurt and needed help.
But the poison. Yeah, yeah, that's the point. Or that's the thing, yeah. It's one of the regional variants, so it is a poison ground type, if I remember correctly.
It's cool. It's just instead of being blue, he's dirt colored, but you know.
He's a mud boy.
Mud boy. Oh, also the pattern on his belly changes.
Yeah, also his
I'm looking at the sprites next to each other.
Whiskers on it, or if you can call those whiskers, they look like skull and crossbone instead.
Yeah, you know, I approve of Paldean Wooper.
I think you would like its evolution a lot.
A brown mud. I don't know. I like Wooper too much. I already don't like Wooper's regular evolution because it's not Wooper.
You don't like Quagsire?
Quagsire's okay, but it's not as good as Wooper.
Would you like to see its Paldean evolution?
I'll look at the Paldean evolution. I'm on the Bulbapedia page.
Okay. The boy.
Clodsire.
Yeah.
It's just a Quagsire, but he's on all fours. And he's
also a crazy thing about it is you see those like grayish things on its back.
Yeah. Dots.
Those come out as spikes.
Oh, there's a screenshot of it. Oh.
Yeah. Which is apparently in reference to a lizard that literally breaks its ribs and juts them out of its body as a defense mechanism.
Nice. That reminds me of that one like Gen 7 Pokemon that like spat out its innards and used it as an attack.
Pyukumuku.
Pyukumuku, yeah. The item in Smash Brothers.
Yeah, that is one of the funnier Pokemon in that game.
You could pick them up and huck them.
Yep. I like that
Why
guy.
did Gen 7 have 2 Pikachu clones? Because there's Togedemaru and also Mimikyu.
Well, I guess Mimikyu's a little different because it's not like another electric type that functions as Pikachu. It is a different story.
The Ghost
but also
Fairy,
is regarding it's also regarding Pikachu.
Also, remember the Mimikyu rap? That was like 10 years ago. Saw that video the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, no, wait, 10 years ago was like black and white too, right?
I have terrible news.
I have horrible news. Actually, no, that's not quite 10 years ago. Sun and Moon was 2016. So, a good number of years ago, but not quite 10. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, you know, the whole anime discussion that we're talking about.
Yeah.
This is also a lot turned into just Pokemon discussion, but that'll happen.
Sorry.
Especially with the first part of this.
I've done this.
I'm to blame as well. Don't worry. Anyway, so they go to the forest. They find this dying Wooper, and then a giant olive Pokemon. I assumed that was giant. They said it was giant, and I'm like, is that?
Yeah, it's normally not that big.
Is it normally not supposed to be that big?
No.
Because that was the first time I ever even seen that Pokemon. Oliva.
Yeah, it's or Arboliva as it is named in English. Yeah, it's 4'7" normally.
Okay, so not towering over like a giant tree.
Yeah.
I guess if I played the game, I wouldn't have missed that.
That's fine.
Oh no, she's missing
Also,
out.
this entire line, you'd be surprised. A grass normal.
Yeah, why is it a grass normal type?
It's got a cool ability though.
What is the ability?
I guess I could bring it up. A Seed Sower. Anytime it gets hit with a physical move, it brings out grassy terrain.
Nice.
Or just hit by any attack. Okay.
Okay. Because it does that in the show. Because they do the show. Okay, back to the anime. They
like
run.
how we said we were gonna distract, and then we immediately distracted.
They run into this giant flower, and it's angry, but then they befriend it, and then the flower's like, "Hey, I'm sad that the forest burned down." And so they spend like a couple of hours replanting the forest. You know, you can just do that immediately. I guess they did have Pokemon, so, and they did split up. Like they had like, I don't know, the cat doing the seeds, and they also had the old man come out and do the watering, and then they also use that Pokemon's ability to turn it into grassy terrain. I meant to look that up when they originally, because they're like, oh, it's using its ability, but I didn't know if they meant like it used a move or it was specifically like the ability.
Well, there's also a move just called grassy terrain, but yeah.
But yeah, it made all the grass come
It's
back,
ability.
and then it was happy.
Yeah.
And then, I forget exactly how this happened, but like the, like Liko pendant started shining again, and, you saw clearly that it was a Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then also, yeah.
Oh, the reason for it is because the Arboliva has another one of the ancient Pokeballs on its neck.
Yeah,
Or
and then
to be constituted as a neck for this thing.
yeah, and then it like at the end of it, it's like I'm happy the forest is back, and then it goes back into its ancient Pokeball. And then they're like, what the fuck was that all about? Was it related to the Rayquaza? Was it related to the pendant? I don't fucking know. And then conveniently they find one of the like picture books that Liko's dad made, and it basically just explains everything more or less.
Yeah.
It talks about
This was kind of silly.
I mean, they did hint at it a little bit here and there, but they talked about how like, oh, there's an ancient hero and he's related to the Rayquaza. But here they're just like, okay, here's the whole ancient heroes, you know.
And they talk about how this dude who was like a really good trainer and all that, and he had like these really cool Pokemon.
Ash. He's not Ash.
People are speculating that, but then later on it's basically confirmed not to be.
I was gonna say that it's like 100 years ago. There's no way it can be Ash. There's no, unless technology just did not advance in the past like 100 years.
Don't worry about it. Oh.
But yeah, so and it was like, oh yeah, you know, it had 6 legendary Pokemon or Super Legend Heroes 6, whatever. Rayquaza, the Black Rayquaza, and this Oliva, or Arbolova or whatever. All of the giant tree olive Pokemon.
Yeah. Oliva or Arboliva.
Arboliva, were both part of this guy, and also Liko gem is connected to it. Kind of funny that they just kind of like plot dump there, but hey, whatever.
Yeah.
But I like the idea. So now they're like, okay, now we have like a real ass mystery. Before they were just like looking for clues and trying to find Rayquaza, who conveniently went from the Kanto region directly to the Paldea region.
Yeah.
Which is why... Did they need an excuse to go to the Paldea region? I guess I have no idea. It was a weird plot.
Gotta make game sales.
It was a weird plot. I mean, they were already going to the Paldea region to meet up with Liko's parents anyway. Trying to find Liko's grandma anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know. They even say, like, oh, conveniently enough, in, like, the plot and the recap, they're like, conveniently enough, Rayquaza flee to the exact place that we're going, so cool.
Worked out. I guess it was just, I'm assuming it was just because it was, well, I mean,
plot.
I don't know, obviously, but it was just closest to where the island was, even though Kanto would be closer.
Plot. It was plot.
Well, actually, I guess the case could be, like, maybe Rayquaza's, like, trying to find, I mean, this is obviously speculation for potential plot things going forward, but maybe it's trying to find the other Pokemon that were owned by this trainer.
That's a decent theory. It's an advantage of actually being caught up we might be caught up on an anime, is that we might be able to speculate about stuff like this without being spoiled, because it's not based on anything. So if theoretically I get caught up on this anime and we do discussions when the show is relevant. But yeah, I think, and now they're like, okay, and then, like, Liko's mom shows up and then gives Frieda a hint that, like, the grandma might know about all of this, and the grandma is in Galar.
Yep.
And I'm like, ah, fudge, what was Galar again? And I'm like, oh yeah, Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield.
I played that game.
I played that one.
What did you say? Sword and Shield what game?
Sword and Shield region.
Oh yeah, region game thingy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's kind of weird how they introduced it, but I think it's a cool idea of, like, you know, they got to go find the, you know, the other, they have 2, they got to go find the other 4, like, Pokemon. And also because, so, like, the Olive Branch Pokemon went into the ancient Pokeball, but, like, nobody officially, like, owns that Pokemon. Like, it's there, and it's mostly, like, trapped in the ancient ball, so, like, nobody, like, officially, like, caught it. It's not, like, at their disposal.
Yeah.
But, like, it sometimes shows up during, like, plot elements. So, yeah, they're like, let's go to Galar, because that's where the plot is. I think it is a good, is a fun idea of, like, oh yeah, you know, it's not like super interesting because it's like, oh, it's an ancient hero, had all these Pokemon, but, like, you know, it could be interesting in the future, and it's a good enough of a reason to continue the adventure.
Yeah.
And you think that they would do that, but the last batch of episodes.
Well, hold on. After they do that.
Oh, hold on. I can control Z. What's up?
After they decide to go for Galar, some mysterious man appears watching the airship.
Oh, yeah.
A Behem.
That's like, I think that was in the last episode, like the last 2 episodes, where there's like somebody watching them and like doing something.
Oh yeah, their name is I guess it's pronounced Spinal or Spinel.
It's clearly Spadinil.
Oh, of course.
Oh, of course, obviously. But
oh yeah, he shows up in episode 6 first.
I think they all show up in episode 6 because they're like, they have like a council meeting.
Yeah, we totally glossed over that. Yeah, the explorers like have, like, it's more than just the
That one dude,
and then like those his 2 cronies that are trying very hard to be Jesse and James, but they really don't have a lot of development to even be that.
They try their best.
All we know is the girl, I forget her name, but really wants to have Liko Fukita. Yeah.
The Jesse clone.
Yeah, I forget their names, but yeah. And the explorers have like a bunch of different admins, and Amethio got like told off for like, you messed up, kid. It's like, well, it's not my fault that friggin' Rayquaza showed up.
Yeah, goddamn Rayquaza showed up. What you fucking expect me to do about that one, buddy? Again, I like, that's another aspect of them being like a imposing, like threatening, like villain, is that there's not just one of them that gets beat up all the time. Like there are it's not just Pikachu use Thunderbolt. Oh, Team Rocket is blasting off again. That happens every goddamn episode in X and Y, and I hate it.
Yeah, they definitely it was fine in the older episodes, but then it got like really arduous later on.
Cause like in like the first episode, like Jesse and James are like these super like mysterious, intimidating villains that like take down an entire Pokemon Center, but then they just chase after Ash and they don't do anything.
Yeah, they're fine comedic relief, but they do become kind of grating later on. But I still like them as characters.
Yeah, especially in Sun and Moon, they got some decent character like development, cool episodes every so often.
Yeah, I would say they were done bad in X and Y.
Yeah, X and Y was one of those things where like they were forced to show up every episode, even if they had no reason to show up.
Kind of like the other evil team in X and Y. Who said that?
Who said that?
Flare. Everybody hates Team Flare.
You should enter the chat.
That's not even a hot take. Team Flare just sucks.
But yeah, it's cool. They have like this whole organization and like a big mysterious leader, and they're actually intimidating. Because again, even like Freed, who is like supposed to be like the commander and the guy and like a Pokemon professor, and like he has all these like cool like of all Pokemon, and like having Pikachu is supposed to be like super powerful. Like even he had trouble like holding back like the Explorer team, and the only reason they got out of it during the island is because Rayquaza showed up and started nuking the place. So yeah, and then the next arc will have more of that. But
first we gotta flex the new cooking aspect for the game. We gotta get
and not okay. I'm not okay. Listen, 13 is listen, it's so all that cool plot, all those things happening, all these like character developments, like it comes to a grinding halt while they literally like sit around, make sandwiches, and have flashbacks. They're like, oh, we can't go yet because, you know, the thing needs like an update. So they just they're like, okay, let's have a picnic. And then they make a sandwich, and they make sandwiches, and they have like, they reminisce on things that have happened up until now. And I'm like, oh my god.
But Soul, this is the catalyst for Roy's second Pokemon.
I mean,
a Watchroll.
Nothing really, like, that's why it's, if anything, it makes the episode worse, because you can't just skip episode 13, because one thing idea gets introduced.
No, here, okay, I will, like, semi-defend, like, the other two episodes, like, what was it?
10 and... No, it was... I wrote it down. 7 and 8.
Yeah, 7 and 8. Like, because, like, some things of, like, semi-note happen. Not a lot happens here.
Yeah, there was a point where I was just like, ah! I made that noise.
It is a fun little character bonding moment, but, like, in terms of, like, objective, like, plot development, nothing happens.
And they're like, wow, you can really tell a lot from somebody by the way they make a sandwich. And I'm like, what the fuck? If I didn't know that this was a thing in the game, I would have been so angry and confused. Even knowing that it's a video game thing, it still doesn't make it a lot better.
So I feel like that kind of holds some ground. All right.
And the only reason The only reason I know about the sandwich making thing is because there are a lot of YouTuber clips about people making really bad sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
But what were you saying?
I was gonna say that statement does hold some ground, though. I would say, because here's a question: if you make do you make sandwiches at home often? And if so, what is your go-to sandwich?
Usually ham and cheese or PBJ.
All right, I'm with you on the first one. And
what
then,
did I say first? What did I say first?
Ham and cheese. I love ham and cheese.
Okay.
And then my next question is, if you would go to like a sandwich place, what is your go-to sandwich at like a, I guess, fast food or just any place where you would get a sandwich?
I don't know. I don't really have a go-to sandwich. I guess a meatball sub.
Fair.
Fair.
For me, my favorite is from a specific place called Penn Station, and it is a chicken teriyaki with grilled onions and mushrooms.
Can't believe you
And
just
Swiss cheese.
doxed yourself live on stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna know where the fuck that is.
Yeah. In a place that I don't even live in anymore. I miss that sandwich every day.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, so it's...
Yeah, there's not a lot, nothing crazy of note happens here except for the one
You
thing that
could theoretically
could
skip this
argue-
episode and you could get the gist of what happened from the next episode.
If you're like me and you're here kind of just for like character interactions and stuff, it's kind of fun.
If you're here just for character interactions, you should watch this one show. It's really good. It's called Pokémon Sun and Moon!
Yeah, probably at some point.
I don't know.
Yelling at me,
I
Jesus.
don't know why I yelled that. I did not mean to. My bad.
Like, it's fun, but yeah, like, objectively, there's not a lot going on here.
Yeah, again, if I can talk more about Pokemon Sun and
as-
Moon, the reason why I like Sun and Moon's my favorite, even though it has all the episodes I theoretically should hate, is because it focuses on that. It's just like, it doesn't feel like a diversion from the plot, because the whole point of Sun and Moon is to, you know, develop the characters and, you know, have character moments. Sorry for yelling earlier.
Yeah, you're fine.
Because I'm just, my throat hurts.
Yeah.
But yeah,
As
no.
someone like me who is like very much enjoys a lot of shows about literally nothing happening.
You would like Sun and Moon.
Yeah, no. We've had this discussion probably 70 times. And it's just time and energy is literally the only thing stopping me mostly.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, like nothing a lot happens here, but it's a fun little like thing if you're just here for like seeing how just like seeing the characters have a little fun.
Yeah, it's fine. Again, the occasional diversion is fine. It makes characters feel more like real and like they're not just here for plot. Like, because the whole idea about like the ship and why it's cool is that it's not just like a ship that they go. It's like it's these people's homes. Like they live there and they get along and you know they are like a family. And I think like having moments where like they just sit around and make a sandwich is fine. It just could have been better. I'm just saying. It's just really annoying how they have to do it by pausing the plot. Like, there could have been some better reason. I mean, I guess there was a reason, because we find out later that the reason that the ship needed, like, an update is because there's, like, electrical interference from the bad guy.
Oh yeah, also during the forest episode, they literally couldn't contact anybody.
Yeah, because there was, like, a magnemite or something in the area.
There was, like, a couple of magnetons literally causing, like, interference.
Magnetons. I just pulled out this screenshot, because can I just question the fact that their operating system has the taskbar of Windows, like, 10, but the window of Windows 7 or something?
Don't worry about it.
Because, like, the bottom looks like the taskbar where it has, like, the Windows button and, like, the search thing and, like, the box tabs. But then the window is, like, blue with the red X, like, and that hasn't been that way since, like, Windows XP or whatever.
I guess it's just more recognizable that way.
As, like, a window, yeah, as opposed to, like, the thing. Also, I don't understand these phones. Because, like, these phones can, like, expand into, like, tablets. Because
Oh
like,
no, I said that exact same thing. I'm like, how do these function?
because like, okay, so
Is
first of all, they
Rotom doing that?
have a Rotom in them that never talks. So like, is the Rotom just like brain dead or something? Why isn't the Rotom?
So my assumption for the Sun and Moon one specifically is I'm assuming they actually like gave it like a talking module that the Rotom could actually access and everything, but the phones don't do that because they don't really need to. Because like you could make like a Siri joke with that, but also there was just a lot of complaints about that Rotom deck specifically in the games at least.
I have no mouth, but I must scream.
I would not be shocked though if that is the case of why the Rotom phones just do not say anything as opposed to the Rotom decks in Sun and Moon, because there were so many complaints about it.
You know that like Winnie the Pooh like comic that was like, they took my fucking eyes.
Yes, I've seen that one.
It's that, but it's Rotom saying they took my fucking mouth. It's kind of effed up. Anyway, next episode's a lot better. So it doesn't divulge into filler for too long, because the next episode is immediately better because he meets a bird that is afraid of heights. Roy meets a bird, like the bird was like, he ran into the bird in episode 13, but like it was episode 14. I was like, hey, I'm gonna go back and like have an episode with that bird. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Kaiden or Wattrel is its English name.
And I just pulled up this screenshot specifically because like this is when the show does like interesting things with its like animation or directing of like it has this guy like, oh, come in, the water's fine, and then it like shows the camera from like the bird's perspective. It's all like scary and blue and like getting farther away, and like it has like a weird camera trick. And the show does that a couple times. There's another like early on, Liko has like an out of body moment where she's saying one thing but thinking another.
Yeah,
and like
that's funny.
I wish the show did more of that. Because it's really great when it happens and adds a lot of life, but most of the time the show is just characters standing around. Although the battles are like well done, I think.
Yeah, they're good.
So yeah, I don't know. There's not a whole lot that happens with this bird other than it's afraid of heights and Roy helps it, and then at the end, the bird is not afraid of heights anymore, and then can be with his friends, and he's like, wait, I want to be with that guy, he's cool, and then he catches the bird. It's not too complicated, but it's a nice, like, you know, like, we live with Pokemon, he does this thing, that's why he had, like, the fishing pole. He had the fishing pole to be used as, like, a harness for the bird.
Yeah.
So he could, like, practice flying without being scared, and, like, it's a very simple character arc, but, I like it a lot.
So if you want that image specifically here,
it's a very good, very good of like, hey, you know, Pokemon and people, they help each other. They you know, they're good friends. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, maybe I should like in addition to my screenshots, go to the Wikipedia page and grab screenshots like that too before the stream.
And then at like the tail end of this episode, so at the same time, Liko and like Murdoch are out shopping in Levincia, which is like the big city.
Is that it? I couldn't tell these goddamn cities apart. There's like two different cities that they jump back and forth between, and one of them's like a big
Artosa.
Like. They also, I don't know what you're talking about because they also call it by its Japanese name.
Oh, I don't know its Japanese name, but.
I'm trying to look it up, but yeah, they go for.
Well, Artosa has like a big like windmill, and that's kind of its thing. It's also like very artsy.
It's got a windmill. Yeah, the guy who was with the artist, the town that the artist guy lives in, and then like the big like city.
Yeah.
Hakko City, which is Levincia.
Yeah, which is the biggest city in the game. Also, it's interesting seeing it not run at 5 FPS.
Although it still has technical errors because while we're talking about that,
does it?
I don't know. This one shot, we're not at this point yet, but this one shot of like these stairs are very confusing because like those stairs look like they're like the first flight of stairs look like they're flushed up against the window, but then they go behind the other stairs. So like it just hurts my
It's
brain.
an Escher painting. Don't worry about it.
It's a what?
An Escher painting. Have you not like those?
Oh, an Escher painting.
Like,
I thought you said extra painting.
Nah.
I'm like, it's just extra. It's just for fun. It's not like a real staircase.
Yeah, but yeah, while they're doing that, what's his name? Spinal. I already forgotten.
Okay, one more thing. I know I'm going off a topic, but can I say one thing I don't like about Liko's character design?
Go on.
Is that sometimes when her eyelashes face a certain way, they overlap with like the other eyelash that she has, and it turns into like a weird like X symbol on her forehead. And
this is a very similar issue that my girlfriend has with Ash, because those little squiggles she cannot not see as a mustache for him.
But like, I don't know, it's a weird thing about her character design that like every single time it happens, I notice it and I'm annoyed by it.
I never noticed. I'll be honest, I never noticed that.
Well, I'm sorry that I've ruined the show for you now.
I think I'll be okay. I'll probably forget about it in like 5 minutes.
Because normally, like, when she's facing head on, like, it looks fine. Like, her eyelashes are, like, outwards and not by those, like, little, like, eyelid wrinkle things. I don't know what to call it other than an eyelid wrinkle.
No, that sounds correct.
But, like, when she is facing anything other than directly straight, like, her eyelashes, like, go to one side and overlap, and it's weird. I will try not to look at it too hard. So anyway, at the same time, Liko goes to go
shopping with Murdoch to get like food and stuff, mainly like in Levincia, just to like get food. And one of them was like getting this thing called Herba Mystica, which is a very kind of a plot point in the normal game, but here it's just like a food ingredient.
The special spicy spice or whatever it was called.
Yeah. Also at this, like right before this, what is it? Freed finds like the Magneton causing issues.
You're right.
Attacks it.
Sorry, go on.
Takes it out, and then a Behem shows up, and oh wait, no, Spinal's like literally here, like fighting, Freed and his Charizard and all that.
Oh yeah, like
realizes his Charizard, and then they just like dip.
Yeah, Freed like runs into like a Magneton and a like one of that Gen 5 like alien Pokemon thing.
Behem.
Yeah, and like they have like a quick fight, and that's where Friede like shows that his Charizard can Terra type into flying? No, fire? Dark. Which is cool.
Yeah.
But then they just kind of F off, and he's like, doesn't mention it to anyone, and then he's like, oh, by the way, I found these guys earlier. It's like, why didn't you say anything?
And then I think he literally is like, oh, I forgot.
And you're right, it is an item that appears. Because Liko gets like, Marduk is, the chef, is looking for the spicy spice, or in English, spicy herba mystica?
Okay. Yeah, Mystica.
Which apparently
which is a prevalent plot point. Because Scarlet Violet has 3 separate like storylines, and getting the Herba Mystica is one of them for a character. Yeah. Which I won't spoil.
But so Liko goes to go get the shop, and she's like, there's no effing shop here. And then she gets attacked and has her memories wiped and her pendant stolen. So that was kind of a what the fuck kind of moment.
Kind of
by this jackass.
Also, the way this was dealt with was kind of weird, because you probably shouldn't put that the way that it was done in this thing, because it's just kind of weird.
Where they were being like hypnotized
in an alleyway. Yeah, that's all.
Hypnotized in a dark alleyway. That's why I was like, holy shit, she's dead.
Yeah, maybe don't do things like that, because that's kind of a touchy subject for a lot of people.
It was very like dark.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't do that.
Having your memories wiped is already kind of dark, but like,
yeah, that's already a terrifying prospect.
But like, yeah, I mean, it helps the guy, like, that's one of the first, other than like jamming the radar, that's like the first thing he does is like, oh yeah, you know that pendant that, you know, they had to like chase her down and like, you know, run throughout the school and chase him in the airship, and then they went to the town and they still couldn't get it. Yeah, he just got it. He just did literally like put out like a fake internet ad and beat her up and stole it. Like this. Like, that's effed up, dude. Miss my notes.
Yeah, that's it. That's literally like the last thing that happens in the episode, and then 15 starts.
And then the next episode, Dot actually becomes a character.
She does a thing.
Like, I don't know. Again, when Dot was initially like introduced, it was just like via like, oh yeah, you know, she's there, I guess, and she has an arc. But that was like during like a quote unquote filler episode, and then she's kind of in the background for the most part.
Yeah, she's doing things, but they're not like crazy relevant to the plot, I guess you could say.
Yeah. But then Liko goes missing, and then she's like, "Hey, that's my friend. I'm kind of
that's my bestie."
The one other thing that happened in the sandwich episode is that Liko was like, "Oh, I'm sad that Dot can't be with us. Let's be with us because she doesn't want to go outside. So let's get all the sandwich materials and put them inside." And Dot was like, "Thanks." So they have some sort of relationship. So they are friends in a combination with that one other episode.
Yeah. Also, I want those Snorlax slippers. They look really cool.
I'm sure you can get them.
Yeah, they probably exist.
I know Snorlax like Pello exists. There's a lot of Snorlax stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Yeah.
It's a Gen 1 Pokemon. It has a lot of merch. But yeah, so she calls up one of her streamer friends. Which is a hilarious concept, but it's what the fudge was her name?
Iona.
Iona? It's not you don't know?
Iono.
Iono?
Yeah.
She's called Nanjomo. Nanjomo Nason in Japanese.
So the joke is like her intro is like, who's a what's it? Iono. So it's like it's a joke of like saying her name and like, I don't know. And
that's
also,
actually
like, she's the electric gym, so the ion is in her name as well. It's just like a very like actually well thought out kind of a multitude joke. Multi-layered joke.
Yeah, I was gonna say her name I understood her name in Japanese because episode title I think referred to it as like non-mono, but her name is Nanjomo.
Yeah.
So no, I approve. That's a good translation.
Yeah. And I still would argue one of the best like gym leaders we've had in a long time, just concept wise, just because it's very funny.
I was gonna say, yeah, really, listen, again, if I ever play Scarlet Violet, it will be because of her, because she has a great design. I love how there's like magnemites on her head, like at part of her hair.
Yeah, which actually move.
They move? Are they like real? Are they real?
Jury's still out. Jury
is still out on that. But yeah, she's great, and then she's also just generally chaotic and great, and I don't want to just keep saying synonyms for great. But
she's genuinely like a very good design on multitude.
Yeah, it's one of those it's like one of those anime characters where you see their design and that's how they act. It's very like it's a very strong design, and their personality is based off of that, so it works out very well.
Yeah, and I think it's in a word, a very easy way to describe her: VTuber. She's also just a VTuber. But instead she's like IRL. That's just what she looks like.
What are you talking about? This is what I look like IRL too. Are you not a blue fox?
This is just what we look like. It's true.
What are we talking about? Anyway, so Liko's missing, so Dot / Gurumine calls up her streamer friend.
She abuses her clout for good.
Yeah. And then they have like this collab. Yeah, they have this collab where they do like, oh, it's a big hide and seek. You gotta find everybody. Like, she gathers her fans and asks them basically to go find Liko for them. Which is and
at the same time Liko's like trying. She's like
doesn't have any memory and has no idea what the hell is going on, so she just panics and starts to run.
Well, okay, so it's like I think her memories are like removed about specifically the Voltekers.
Yeah, because she's I don't know.
Because she's like, because
She's basically
like,
reset to episode 1.
Yeah, she knows who Gutermine is and everything, and she like, because they straight up like say like her screen name, which I think is just like Sprigatito fan, which is pretty funny.
I was gonna talk about how great Sprigatito, because that's another great translation. Is in Japanese her name is just Naoha Daisuke, and then which is just a generic online username, and then they translated it to Sprigatito fangirl or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's like Sprigatito lovers or something.
I don't know,
Something like that.
Either way, it sounds it's a good understanding of both cultures and both languages, where in Japanese it sounds like a generic made up on the spot username, and also it sounds like a generic made up on the spot username in English too. Because I'm pretty sure, like, even back in, like, the old internet days, you'd see usernames like that all the time, like Zelda fangirl or whatever.
Yeah, stuff like that happens all the time.
So it works. I've ruined your train of thought. Yeah, they're like, go find Liko, and she's like, oh my god, I have no idea what the fuck's happening, I'm running away.
Yeah, which is fair.
Which, you know what, ironically, is fair. If you don't know what the hell's going on, you just run away. That's where That's where this running into a one-dimensional...
Running into an Escher painting.
Running into an Escher painting screenshot comes from. But then, once she gets to the top, she's like, she jumps off of one building to another with, Sprigatito, and she's like, I remember when I did this in episode 2, where I jumped off. And then all of her memories come back, and she's like, and they're like, yay, we did it! And then Roy, like,
I got better.
Roy wins, like, the contest because he happens to run into her. There's also another, like, plot point. I don't know how much detail we should go in, especially since we're at the 3-hour mark. But yeah, there's, like, a thing where, like, oh, you know, they're it's either this city or this city, and then the bad guy put out, like, fake news where it said that Liko was in one city when she was actually in the other.
Oh, yeah.
So, which imply how close are these two cities in game? Because the anime makes it sound like they went back and forth between these two cities like 3 times in one day.
Oh, Artetosa and Levincia?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get you a...
Let me get you a map.
No, like, for real, though. So... Here, let me just give you this image. On the east side of this map, you see like that, like...
This is not a helpful map.
Well, no, I'm telling you. So you see like the like really big like brown hill like on the southeast side, and like that little town right there. Right above it.
On the right side?
Yeah. So like that really big like just brown what is this called? Like
mountain?
These
flat top mountains there, like with the
that town right there is
autumn
Artetosa,
leaves,
and then that town right above it is Artetosa, and then you see like that town slightly north to it, like in the water. That's Levincia.
Okay, so they are like close in game.
Yeah, they're fairly close to each other.
Because again, they ran back and forth, they ran back and forth. Like, the reason that Roy was in that city anyway was because, like, the bird, like, was chasing after something, and then he got distracted and ended up in that town.
Yeah.
You know, you ever
just the ADHD representation.
You ever just chase around a bird and end up in a completely different city?
My pet bird ran away, and now I'm in...
Now I'm in Detroit. What's going on? This isn't Los Angeles.
I'm in Detroit, where a VTuber is telling me to find my friend.
Where what? Oh, VTuber is telling me to find my friend. But yeah, in this
Tell me I'm wrong.
In this arc, Dot, like, you know, joined the main cast, I suppose. Because then afterwards they were like, okay, we gotta go find the pendant. Also, here's the other error that I noticed in this screenshot, where Ino is flying down, and she looks cut off. Looks cut off. You see what I'm getting? You see what I'm saying?
What do you? Oh, like she's kind of just coming out of the
she's
like helicopter's like
landing
she's not
gauge.
Yeah, but she's not going through. That's funny. I never noticed that.
It also doesn't.
Landing gear.
It also looks like she's completely horizontal too.
She's blanking.
She's blanking.
She's trying to bring it back.
She's bringing it back. Also, I'm assuming that those multicolored birds are from Scarlet Violet.
Yes, Squawkabilly.
Okay.
Is their name.
But yeah, you can see that Dot is just here with the main cast. So they eventually, after a lot of running around, they eventually narrow it down. Also, Dot catches Quaxley, even though that she's known Quaxley her entire life. She just never wanted to be a Pokemon trainer, despite that she's like a Pokemon information YouTuber. Influencer.
I guess not influencer.
She makes she makes the tutorials on Pokemon. But yeah, I liked her character out of like, going outside, and she's like, oh man, that's so tired of running around. I'm never going outside again. After like 5 seconds of running, she's like on the floor, out of breath, sweating.
Me.
This is a good character arc. It's a good character type. But then, she and Quaxley is just like super confident and just like, hey, I'm willing to help you with whatever, and goes in the ball just fine, and she's like, hey, I'm a trainer now. I don't know if that happens before or after.
This is like the first thing that happens in the episode.
Okay. In episode 16?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so
they're on
go get the pendant, and
they're on the rooftop. Yeah, they're on the rooftop, and they're like, well, there might be a Pokemon battle. You should grab that Quaxley.
Mm-hmm.
Meow, 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 meow.
Yeah, and then they try and go find Spinel.
They're trying to find what?
Spinel, the dude who stole the pendant.
Oh, yeah. This is getting too late. There's too many episodes. I know, maybe doing 16 for the first one. I underestimated how, like, densely packed this show was going to be. I was expecting more from the last, like, couple of...
Yeah, I was just... Because you said, like, this many episodes, and I was like, well, this is when a plot point stops, and where you said is in the middle of the next one, so...
But anyway, so they eventually go down to like this dock that Dot Dot goes down to the dock and does some deeds and does some stuff in the dings and the dingus. I'm losing it. The Dot like sends up a flare because like Dot's like, oh, I've never been a Pokemon trainer, but I'm really knowledgeable and I know how to think about things. So she just uses water gun, but like in the sky up to and sends out a flare so Liko and Roy can find her. And then they have a big battle with this guy.
Well, let's go back for a second because Freed is here too, but he gets hit with a red herring.
Yeah, he goes off like, oh, they're like, oh, it's probably a fairy. It's the only fairy leaving the dock. And he goes there and like some random asshole decides to do a Pokemon battle with him. Like, who was that guy? Who was that guy?
I'm assuming he's like a lackey in the Explorers.
Is he? He looked like he was just... Because he questioned him and was like, hey, where's the pendant? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know if he has an actual speaking line. I thought he was someone from the games.
Oh, I know you're right. He's just a dude. Actually, I just kind of assumed that he was part of the thing. I don't think he's in the game. Yeah, no, he's just a guy.
He's just a dude. He's just a
he's
dude.
Not in the, yeah. He just has a Bisharp that Pikachu just beats.
Oh yeah, Bisharp's trainer. That's what he's listed on Bulbapedia.
Oh really? That's funny.
The subject of this article has no official name. was a character of the day. If sorry? Oh, guest character. A fan-made term given to a human and sometimes Pokemon character in the anime. Character appears in only one episode, is often but not always relatively unimportant to the series. Why do you need an entire Wikipedia article about unimportant characters?
Don't worry about it. Yeah, then they like go back to what you were saying. Yeah. the cargo ship takes off and Dot's like, "Hey, I'm over here."
Yeah, and then they fight the Magneton and the alien Pokemon.
Be him, yeah.
Yeah, you know the guy. You know his name. And the guy is like still mysterious because like again he's already was threatening because he just stole the pendant, no problem. And the only reason they were able to find the pendant back was because like the ancient ball was like reacting to it, so they used that as like a tracker, I guess. And he's also like remotely controlling the Pokemon, like he never like physically shows up, so that makes him like more
essentially gives them like
radio communicators,
like,
walkie-talkies.
Yeah, essentially like earpieces to talk to his Pokemon and just
which I didn't even know you could do in Pokemon. I don't know, I guess
that's a new thing.
There's no reason that you shouldn't be able to do that, but I guess I just never put two and two to... I never thought of that you could...
I guess arguably Pokken does that?
Give your Pokemon commands via Zoom.
Well, because they have like the like AR gear thing, right? And it's like literally like a headset.
Ah, yeah.
And it also allows them to fuse with their Pokemon, essentially. Pokken was weird.
Pokken is not a name I've heard in quite a long time.
There are still times where I want to play that game, but it's also like I do not like half of the fighting style in that game. Also, I don't want to buy it again.
Just play Pikachu and Kazuya and Smash Brothers. You'll get the same effect. Just play Pikachu on the Kazuya stage.
Pikachu can't Electric Wing God Fist in Smash Brothers.
I was gonna say somebody has to have made that mod. I know they made a Grunty from Banjo-Kazooie over Kazuya.
That's funny.
Anyway, we're getting really off.
We're like on the home stretch here. So yeah, they beat the they beat the Behem and Magneton, and they're like, all right, we did it. Now give us the pendant back, idiot. And then he's like, just kidding. Umbreon jump scare.
And now he's like, oh fine, I now have a taste of my real power. And then Umbreon just comes out, laser beams them, and then they all die immediately. So like the guy is still like pretty threatening. Like the 3 rookie Pokemon trainers are not enough to take down like an experienced bad guy, unlike Team Rocket. Because again, like it's a fine idea of like, oh, Pikachu's special, and you know the first episode like he had like a supercharge from a bunch of other Pikachu, but like it's really stupid that like, you know, Team Rocket is supposed to be like this threatening villain, but like Ash can't even win a Pokemon badge legitimately until like the 15th badge. And he's taking them down, but like, so they do get like a fight. It's again 3 Pokemon on 2, so they have an advantage, and they also use like typing and whatnot, and they team up, and then they barely manage to take down these 2 Pokemon, and then just Umbreon shows up and one-shots them. So it's like, oh yeah, that guy was just messing around. He wasn't even being serious. And then, because we need a plot, the Olive Branch Pokemon just shows up and was like, hey, I'll help you.
Olive Ex Machina.
Yeah, the Olive Ex Machina. It's a good one. But yeah, so he just shows up and just they float away.
Because
why do I not
has like all of the ancient Pokeballs on him at this point.
I thought Liko had the ancient Pokemon. I thought Liko had at least.
No, I think she has the Arboliva, yeah, because it activates through her pendant, so she's like, I guess I should have this.
Yeah, they managed to get the pendant back, but and then they just basically bail with the Oliva. What the fuck did you say?
Olive Ex Machina.
Olive Ex Machina. I have a suspicion that is going to happen again, which kind of undercuts the tension, but they could have just as easily had like Freed show up and save them. So like, As long as they don't do it too often, it's fine. Because again, you want to have a balance of like, you know, well, the good guys can't just lose and die, and then there wouldn't be a show. But you can't just have them beat the bad guys every time, because then that would get boring.
Mm-hmm.
So having like these like plot reasons of like why this is happening, like the first time like there was a big thunderstorm, so they had to pull out, but they grabbed the cat. And then the second time, Mega Rayquaza started nuking the place, so they had to leave that for that reason. And then this time, like, the, Olive Ex Machina showed up. And he's like, while he had the stone, while he had the pendant, he, like, studied it. And he's like, I've studied the pendant enough, I don't need it anymore, whatever, I don't care. I mean, he gets yelled at by his, like, superiors, but, like, he's still plotting, he's still thinking.
Yeah.
So, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also get, like, a little preview of what everybody else looks like. And then they're like, they officially welcome Dot into the party. And then they're like, okay, now let's go to
Galar.
Because the reason that they were hanging around was because that dude was, like, jamming their system. And then,
yeah, so they, like, literally couldn't leave.
Liko got kidnapped.
Yeah.
Because I was confused, because, like, in episode 12, they're like, okay, let's leave for Galar, and I was confused because I saw,
then they didn't.
I saw, Non-Mojo or whatever. Non-Mojo.
Oh, yeah,
Iono in the thumbnail of episode 15, and I'm like, are you sure? Why is she doing it in Galar? And, like, they don't go to Galar.
Yeah.
But, so now they're on the ship, and this might have been not a great time to stop, because I suspect that the next couple episodes are going to not have a whole lot. Mostly be travel.
Mm-hmm.
At least from the episode preview of 17 that I saw. I try not to look at episode previews because they are spoilers.
Yeah, they can be.
But, I don't know. If it's going to be a couple of weeks before I see the next one, I probably will forget it by that time.
Okay, when does this show... Okay. Don't worry about it.
Anyway, you have anything to say about episodes 13 to 16?
They're a pretty good arc.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where, like, yeah, they're screwing around and not doing, like, the main plot, but, like, they are kind of they're dealing with the main plot.
Yeah, things are, yeah, it's still, like, because it's mostly, like, on Liko's pendant, which is very important.
Yeah, when you say, like, oh, what else should they be doing while main plot isn't directly happening, and I'm like, this is good, you know? Fighting,
no, I get you,
having a confrontation with the main bad guys, while, you know, we also develop the new character of, like, Dot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Dot is, like, seeming to be, like, the third main character. Because, she, like, shows up pretty frequently and it has an important relationship with everybody, and also she has the third starter.
Yep.
So that usually indicates that you're a main character, or at least an important side character.
Yep.
Liko and Roy, I think, are still the main characters, but definitely Dot is important. Because, yeah, Liko has the grass cat. Roy has Hogater, or Fuecoco, and then Dot has the duck. It's so confusing, especially since I haven't played the game, so I don't know these actual Pokemon's names outside of the context of this anime.
Who are you people?
So if I switch between the English and Japanese names, if I call Iono Nanjomo, then
yeah.
Suck it up.
Get over it.
Anyway, we are going to end.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah, let's do ending. So yeah, overall thoughts. It's a good show.
It was good.
We talked about it for like 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And
maybe
yeah,
a couple of tangents happened here.
a couple of tangents happened. Again, I think that's part of the appeal. I mean, like, listen, as much crap as we give to the Pokemon Company for just milking out their series as much as it's worth, like, there is some value of, like, hey, you know, this is from a series that we know, and there are many different things about it, and it's like this big thing, and it has all these, like, different connections, even though it still stands alone. So, like, you know, like, sure, call it bias or nostalgia or buying into the, multimedia marketing.
It's still...
But we like Pokemon, and that's a large appeal of this series. I mean, I think even if you didn't really care about Pokemon, I think you could still watch this series and enjoy it. But, like, especially, being longtime Pokemon fans, like, yay, grass. Oh my god, that's a big bug. Holy fuck. No! Ah! Oh, I don't have anything to kill it with. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
Uh-oh.
Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Holy shit, it's gone.
I can't help you, guy.
Oh my god. I'm scared. I'm scared. That thing was too big to fit in the bug vacuum. Actually, no, I think I could fit it in the bug vacuum. Because I'd try not to... I'm a pacifist, so... And ever since we got the bug vacuum, it's like a little, like, handheld, like... It's shaped like a gun, but it's, like, sucks things up. And it's just... It's like a kid's toy to, like, collect bugs. But it's also useful for getting bugs out of the house without killing them.
Right.
The fuck was that thing? I'm, like, keeping an eye on where I last saw it. I'm scared. Okay, anyway, it's overall a good show. So yeah, probably going to definitely keep watching. Again, it's not, like, perfect. The animation could be better, and there are definitely some, like, slow episodes. I bashed my face into my desk during episode 13. But other than that, pretty good experience.
Yeah, like, outside of, like, severe picking of the nits.
Severe picking of the nits?
Yeah, the show's fine. It does its job, and it does it very well.
I would call
it...
That's not fine. I would call it, like, a pretty good show.
No, it is. I don't know why I said it like that. Yeah, it's a very good show.
I would say... Yeah, I don't know. Again...
It is worth the time, I say.
It's very different from a lot of the Pokemon, so I can't necessarily say, like, oh, it's better than X and Y or whatever, but,
That's
like...
why I like it, though.
Yeah.
Because it still keeps, like, the whole thing of Pokemon, but, like, making it into a completely different aspect of just the world and of itself. It's just, like, going on this adventure that's different from what is normal.
Yeah, it's still, like, at its core, like, a Pokemon adventure story, but, like, there's a lot more things going on. Just have Captain Pikachu on screen.
The best character.
So yeah, we'll probably continue covering it in 15-episode chunks as it comes out. Believe the most recent episode is 27.
Let me check that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
28.
28 comes out November 10th.
Oh no, yeah.
It says. So yeah, probably
5 days.
We'll probably this will be as close as covering a seasonal show as you will get me to. Because I'm not into, like, watching shows, like, week by week. Don't like watching anime like that, so I generally can't get into that market in anime YouTubing. But I can definitely do this, like, cover, like, batches of shows up to the most recent one.
Yeah.
So, also it's awkward because this anime this happened after I announced that we were doing this discussion, that this is, like, the first Pokemon anime to, like, properly, like, separate their, like, arcs. Because, like, episodes, like, 1 to 25 were called Liko and Roy's Departure, and then 26 onwards is the Sparkling Terrapagos. So, like...
We'll worry about that later.
It would have probably been better to cover it in a way that makes more sense to cut it off at, like, you know me, when I covered Bleach and all the other shows, like, I like to cut things at very nice ways, but it just didn't happen because I didn't know. I didn't know. No other Pokemon series before that has, like, I mean, they've had, like, arcs where, like, they changed the opening, but they never had, like, a solid line of, like, okay, this is the next arc. The show gets a new subtitle now. Because at the beginning of every episode, when it showed the title card, it always said, like, Liko and Roy's Adventure.
Yeah. Although I think it's still good we stopped here, because if we went through the entire arc, we'd be here forever.
Yeah, probably if I was gonna do that, I would probably just split it in half.
Yeah.
I'd probably cut it earlier. Probably something we should have done. Cut it like an episode like 12 or 13, but whatever.
Yeah, well, we didn't know.
We didn't know. We didn't know. And now next time we kind of also might be a longer one because I want to just get caught up. So yeah, we will continue watching the show. I want this Sudowoodo face off the screen. I hate it.
I didn't even notice it.
It's the you mad troll face.
Yeah, so do we just want to do 17 to 25?
I
I
have
guess.
bad news for you, Dom.
What?
We're not gonna do Pokemon next time. We will.
Well, no, I figured. I'm just saying in the future.
We might do 17 to 30.
Okay.
It'll probably be 17 to whatever's the most recent episode.
All right, you can do that.
But yeah, we will. I like the series a lot. I love the characters. I want to see their adventures. I think the pacing, all the characters are great. I love them all. I wasn't a super huge fan of Dot at first, but the last like episode, like 15, 16, sold me on her. And yeah, I'm happy that she's a main part of the cast with Liko and Roy, and I like Liko and Roy, and especially Liko. And I like the whole like airship, and we didn't really talk about a lot of people like on the airship, but like they're cool, but like they just haven't done a whole lot yet, other than Molly. And we did talk a decent bit about Molly.
I guess to like spoil it ahead, Murdoch does get an episode soon.
Okay, so yeah, we'll talk about them as they get their episodes. But the only people that really have any development are like Dot, Molly, and like a little bit of Friday.
Yeah, Freed actually gets his own episode too. It's like a backstory on him.
Oh, nice.
It is actually, it's probably one of my favorite episodes actually.
Nice. So, yeah. So yeah, if people want to, if you watch the VOD of this, and because the weird thing about these anime videos is that they don't get a lot of live viewers, but they do get a lot of VOD watching, so it's weird. But hey, you know, appreciate you for watching, no matter how you like to watch it. I'm fine with that. Because anytime people have been in the chat during these anime discussions, I've just gone off topic and gone on random tangents.
I think people are just lurking for the most part.
Yeah, lurking for the most part. Also more of a structured discussion, as opposed to just whatever's happening on screen is less easy to talk about. You know, if like we're playing Sonic, people can type in the chat, "Wow, look at Sonic go, he's spin!" You know. But yeah, no, I kind of intended these, you know, anime streams to be more like podcast anyway. I think I can actually make them into podcasts, because there's a thing on YouTube where you can turn things into podcasts. But I'm not sure how it works. I'm not sure if I'll break anything by doing that.
Couldn't tell you.
But, whatever. So, if you want to keep watching this week by week and watch it when the next one comes out, or if you want to wait a year and watch these when, the dub comes out, that's cool too. Also, something weird about the dub, as I think when I officially dropped the dub for Pokemon X and Y, they just forgot an episode? There's no real reason. They just forgot an episode. They just skipped an episode and then had to come back to it later. Like, what? How do you miss a whole ass episode?
It's weird. That's weird.
I'm gonna look it up. XY series? Trying to figure out like the anime for it. Okay, here we go. Anime and then episodes. X and Y episodes. Oh yeah. Also, okay, the Bulbapedia has very detailed information where they show the Japan broadcast, the US broadcast, and how much time was in between. So it's usually like 79, 79, 58, 72, 79. At a certain point, it just jumps up to 500 and then goes back down.
That's pretty funny.
It's like nothing happened in the episode. It's not like there was a...
That's why?
I'm trying to find it. It was like a later episode. Yeah, there we go. Is this it? Was it episode 78? Because it was a very, like, unnotable episode.
Mm.
Where they just, like... They still aired it, but it was, like... Instead of being, like, episode 78, it was, like, episode, like, 102. There was no real reason that they skipped that episode. Because there's some episodes where I'm like, okay, this is, like... It's either, like, they usually skip it for, like, flashbacks or, because seizures or, that one episode in Sun and Moon. You know the one. Don't say it out loud, but you know the one.
I don't, actually.
You
don't have to say it. If you don't want to. I don't know what it is, but...
If you know, you know. But they don't usually... But point is that they don't skip episodes unless they have a very good reason to, and they had no good reason to, and they just went back to it for some reason.
That's weird.
You know what they're probably doing for the English dub? Is that they're probably just gonna release it, like, 20 episodes, like, on Netflix randomly.
Maybe.
That's the only reason I could think of that it hasn't started airing.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 205 days since episode 1 aired. And all we've gotten is, like, the first, like, 10 minutes from Comic-Con.
Right.
Anyway,
I kind of want to watch the dub just out of curiosity, and also because apparently Sprigatito is voiced by Kira Buckland, who is a very prominent English voice actress.
Nice. I know that,
She's, 2B, I guess, is the best way to...
You know, since listen, Dom, you don't understand. We've only had one Sonic reference in this stream so far, and I gotta meet my quota, so I will say that, Jason Griffith was in black and white.
Yeah, he was
the green-haired guy and also Scraggy.
Yeah.
There we go. So, he was Sonic and the Werehog. There you go. You got not just 2 Sonic references, but 2 Sonic Unleashed references. That's crazy. I also said earlier about, like, oh yeah, you know, at least the high-paced and slow-paced episodes aren't that bad of a shift, because not as bad of a, like, division as the Werehog, like, percentage that you're playing it. But the next Pokemon discussion will probably be in mid-December, and probably cover up to episode 30 or something. I will try to put it... Are you watching Pokemon week by week?
We were, but we took a break, but we're actually probably going to watch the new ones that have come out soon, because we stopped at... What was it? It was episode 23, and then it just essentially went on hiatus for a little bit.
Oh yeah, it goes from September 22nd to October 13th. Weird.
Yeah, and then we just hadn't gotten back to it yet.
But yeah, I will do my best to we will do our best to have the discussions not end at like a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't want to like spoil the episode by looking up like, does this have a good like stopping point? But we'll see. Anyway.
Yeah. Depending on what happens, I'll let you know. And if if 30 is like in the middle or something of a different arc, then I'll just be like, hey, let's push it back a couple.
Yeah, or like do like episode 28 or something.
Yeah.
But the next anime discussion, also / announcement, is that I'm going to be going on a trip from the 17th to the 24th. I will not spoil what it is, but it's for my mommy's birthday. She wanted to go on a special trip. I actually might make a stream about that, depending on how interesting the trip is, because it is an international trip. So we'll see about that one. But it makes it awkward because we usually do these every 2 weeks, but in 2 weeks I will be gone, and then the week after that I will have been gone for a week. And then the week after that, it'll be December. So, long story short is, Gundam, we're gonna finish Gundam, the second half of Gundam, early December. Probably, like, the weekend of, like, the 1st of the 3rd. Because that's, like, the week after I get back, so I can watch, like, half of it before I leave and half when I get back.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's also, so if you want to watch Gundam, especially if you want to watch the first half of Gundam, you have a month. I would recommend it because the first part of the first Gundam's very good, and the first discussion of it is on the channel, and it was a very good discussion. It was with Chris, and it'll be cool. And then probably after that, in like 2 or 3 weeks. Actually, what's 3 weeks after the... Oh, that's Christmas. So probably 2 weeks.
Oh, that's Christmas.
Where does the time go? I mean, I know this is like a month away. It's still early November. But yeah, the next anime discussion will be early December, a month from now, just because of how awkward things are.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, because I could do it in like 2 weeks if I do it like on the Thursday before I leave, but that's a bad idea. And I don't want to like rush through watching anime. So yeah, and then so we'll do that, and then the plan for anime is to do that, and then catch up on Pokemon, and then probably cover some fall shows, and then eventually get back to Bleach. Because then after that will be January, and then the fall season will be over, and I'll probably cover some shows. Are you aware of any shows from the fall season? This is one popular show that I thought you would be interested in.
I don't remember.
The one with Robin from Fire Emblem.
What?
The fudging here, this one. So no Freiden.
Was that?
The main character looks like Robin, so I wanted to say. It's not just me, I saw fan art.
Oh, this girl. I think I've seen. What is it? I think I've seen like something on this on Twitter somewhere, and I was like, "Wait, that's like straight up just her hair." Yeah.
It's Beyond Journey's End. It looks interesting. But I think that's 2 cores, so I don't know. Not confirmed, but that's my general plan for anime is to do in December, finish Gundam, catch up on Pokemon, and then do some fall shows, and then get back to Bleach. And then, unless we drop Pokemon for some reason, we will probably continue doing Pokemon every, like, 15 episodes.
You don't speak for me.
You don't speak for me! I'm gonna say, how many... yeah, 15 episodes is, like, every 3 to 4 months. And I think that's good. The only way that I've gotten through like long Pokemon seasons like X and Y and Sun and Moon is because I took very long breaks. Like I think X and Y, like I waited until it was like completely finished to watch, and then like I watched it throughout the course of like 3 years, which is how long it took to come out. So, and then I think I did the same for Sun and Moon, but I think I by the end of Sun and Moon, I think I watched like the last like 50 episodes in one like going. But yeah, I think for a long series, a 3-month break every 15 episodes sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
But again, you and whoever else may be watching this can do it however they want.
Yep.
Anyway, guess what? The stream went long again. God damn it.
Oops.
But yeah. Until then, more streams soon. It's awkward because I need Dom from like multiple series I'm doing. Because we're doing Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. No, we're doing Sonic Superstars and Mario Wonder. So there'll be a stream Tuesday. If Dom's available, it will be one of those, and if not, I'll figure out something else. And also, I just gotta go find this effing bug. Been keeping an eye on it. But yeah, Pokemon's really good. More streams soon. Gundam, blah blah blah. That's all I had to say. Any other closing thoughts on new Pokemon anime?
No, the show's good.
The show's good, even without Ash. I mean, listen, I know people didn't like it, weren't super fond of Ash, especially being around for like 30 years, but it was close.
I don't hate him, but yeah, like it's understandable. It's his time.
Yeah, I love Ash. Listen, I love every character from Sun and Moon, and Ash was one of them. But yeah, definitely it's a nice change of pace, and the new Pokemon series is definitely like able to capture the spirit of Pokemon while doing at the same time doing something very different, which is what you want in a sequel series. So
Yeah.
good job.
You did it.
It doesn't feel like it's like living in the shadow of like the previous anime.
Yeah.
So good show. We'll continue to watch it. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.
Have a day.
Stay fresh, cheese bags. I can't wink. Can't wink. Okay. Gone.